wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanna know your dark side. I wanna know your secrets. I wanna be your lifeline. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Tell me you're more than just a highlight. Pretty pictures on the outside. I hate to stare at you through these lights. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Oh, oh, this ain't love, no, no. This ain't love, no, no. This is artificial. This ain't love, no, no. This ain't love, no, no. This is artificial. need a scarecrow after what you did, 'cause all of the birds know that I'm almost dead. I'm barely breathing, I'm barely awake. You left me in pieces, there's no more to break. Don't wake me up, not in this century. Don't wake me up, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. I need an angel after what you did, 'cause you were the devil, you messed with my head. You lied to my mother, you lied to my friends. You said that you'd be there, but this never ends. Don't wake me up, not in this century. Don't wake me up, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. 'Cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips. You're just a ghost inside my head. Oh, you're just a ghost inside my head.
I am here in the middle of nowhere. There is no there, it is cold there, but I am safe and I am warm. Although it's hard, I know I gotta keep space. I spend my time down the rabbit hole again, and as I fall I can feel the pain. You can't tell me where to go, so I don't know, I just go with the flow. I go with the flow. I'm falling up, I'm falling down, from the sky and from the ground. Up above just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. I'm out of love, but I guess I deserved it. Trying to hide, to pass you by. I'm getting down, feeling fine. I'm light as air, no one can reach me. Lost in a dream, lost in between. Let's keep on flying, let's keep on breathing. I'm falling up, I'm falling down, from the sky and from the ground. Up above just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo.
Living in the same routine, like the seasons I'm on repeat. It's a long way down. Trying not to follow suit. Don't like the color, I'll change the shade of it. I'm not afraid of it. I know I'm holding on to this, holding on. I know I'm holding on to this, holding on. Don't let me repeat it.
You've seen it all. You've seen it over and over again. These teams just do not stop winning. And now in the Legends Division, one will have to fall. Of course, we do see one team moving up from the lower bracket, but there's a team on top. We are here with the NECC League of Legends Legends Divisions Finals here in the fall 2023 season. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Orbital. With me is the best minion to ever wander off the rift. It is Random Minion Caster, and we will be your casters for this evening for the best of 5 series between two titans across multiple different leagues. It is going to be Maryville coming up against Winthrop, and boy, RMC, is this a matchup.
Oh yeah, no, it's a grand final. It's almost a tale as old as collegiate at this point. Maryville and Winthrop just always seem to find their way to the top, and it's more impressive to me this fall split as well, because we've seen so many new colleges come up with really strong rosters, really strong teams, but at the end, as the dust settles, Maryville still on top, Winthrop still challenging.
And the crazy thing to say is that Winthrop are the challengers right now because they have been leading in the NECC specifically for quite a few seasons. They are no strangers here. The fact that they got knocked out by this specific team has to be a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, so just to clarify, I mean, people call Maryville the Kings of Collegiate, but here in the NECC, our rep was Winthrop at CLO this year. So they're the defending champions. And in the second round of the playoffs, Winthrop fell to Maryville. So simultaneously, they're the defending champions, but they're also challenging against the upper seed from that lower bracket in Orbital. It's not unexpected because these teams are so close. And throughout all the changes, these rosters are some of the strongest we've seen from their respective colleges. And that makes tonight exciting because I don't think there's a clear favorite coming into this one.
I mean, you take a look at Winthrop, they have led their own field, and then, of course, on the other side, right, you talked about it a little bit, Maryville, they're even coming off a hot streak of their own, taking a dub, and I had the pleasure of watching them just last week, and these are teams that are not just, hey, we're sitting on our laurels, we're just sitting on our thrones and just chilling out for a little bit. No, they have been taking titles across the last few weeks, and that means that they are very dangerous. For record, Maryville, with this exact roster, were able to take the grand finals just last weekend in another league, 2-0, very clean victory for them.
Another collegiate league, and Winthrop, they've won the last two tournaments in collegiate as well here in fall. They won the U Invitational as well as the 66 Games Expo. So yeah, both the teams on a bit of a roll, coming together, trying to clash. Now, we did mention that Maryville got the better of Winthrop here in the NECC playoffs earlier on, but in the Hugh Invitational, Winthrop knocked out Maryville in their playoffs. So a lot of back and forth between them.
And that brings us to what stands as what we hope to be one of those final showdowns, right? Best of 5 brings out some silliness. Let's leave it at that. Best of 5s bring out some of the most ridiculous setups that you could possibly have from game 1 to 2 to 3. And then if you get that game 4 and 5, the drafts start to get very funky. To start things out, as you said, in their first matchup here in NECC, they were a little bit weird. Maryville fell in the first match and then came back, and we talked about teams. Both teams are very confident. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the players that'll be joining us here today, starting on the side of Maryville, the upper bracket crushers, Abyss Watcher, who is, of course, Amazo, and then taking a look here, that is... my apologies there. That is Spyrex in the top side, Amazo in the jungle, and then Get Back in the mid lane, Scary Jerry in bot, and Zyko at support.
I'm sure they'll be swapping up their names, Orbital, once we get in game. So I think Scary Jerry had some different name the last time we saw him as well. Winthrop hopefully will keep their names. It's Denethor in the top lane, Wakao or Trickster in the jungle. Sword moved up from support into the mid lane earlier this year and has been dominating in that mid lane. Mobility and Chuki's rounding out this roster in that bot lane.
And looking at these teams, we do have to touch starting out on what we'll call the defending champions looking to get back their crown, because for the side of Winthrop, you had eyes on one specific player. Across the board between these two teams, pound for pound, this is the closest that you'll get to an even matchup. Winthrop and Maryville, if individual skills accounted for, can be very, very strong. You are looking specifically in that jungle for Winthrop as we do get underway with this patch 13.23 for a little bit of a difference in Trickster.
Yeah, so first off, we have to note it is going to be Maryville on blue side. They will have first select, and that might matter, especially when we've seen first pick jungle be a fairly large part, at least here in the NECC, especially with the J4 pick. And I was looking at Trickster because I've seen Trickster before on other rosters. This man is a huge carry, and on Winthrop, he doesn't have to be. He's got so much carry potential in the other lanes that he can go for gankers, go for sort of early playmakers, things like Lee Sin, and not have to worry about carrying in the mid to late game.
That's going to be the hope here as we do get underway with the strat. You can already see some priority picks being banned away. You see that Zaya, which is appropriate. You don't want to give mobility that type of safety. And then the Camille, a little bit targeted towards that top side. Denethor running that one very nicely. The Maokai on the other side, though. Amazo not allow that ability to get in from long range, right? Don't want to allow the tree to wrap its trunks around you.
Also, it's a very defensive style jungler that might be able to stifle Trickster a little bit more in the mid game when they start team fighting. Rumble taken away from Spyrax as well. I know Get Back has really been favoring Oriana, so Winthrop perhaps being a little bit proactive. They want to stop those big team fight wombo combo comps from coming through.
And looking at that double ADC ban does lead me to believe that Maryville will be looking for that ADC position quite early, try and get it for themselves if they so wish. The Ashe response on the other side, I think this is appropriate. It is locking down a lot of what teams want to do, at least on the side of Maryville. They will not have that kind of utility support, utility ADC in their back pocket, but this is what's left up, the J4. That should be grabbed right away. And then on the other side, I do expect an Orianna to be coming out in the next 2 to 3 slots.
Yeah, as we expected, the priority on this champion. He's just such a strong ganker, and he's great setup for all the team fighting that we've come to see in the current meta. I was wondering if Sword would pick something a little bit different, because Sword, a very mechanical player as well. We mentioned his stint in support hasn't slowed him down. Orianna, not necessarily that most mechanical of champions, but they're playing it safe. It is game one. They're just going with solid wombo combo team fighting picks. The Rel as well, which can be flexed between Wakao as well as Juki's.
And it's such a nice one. I love the fact that, again, this adjustment of the rel, I mean, right, I think it was a very interesting decision, flexing it more towards that jungle role. So the fact that we're seeing it more being that flex opens up so many windows of opportunity. However, what's not going to change up is going to be that Callista. This is an MU special. I think they enjoy it quite a bit. We've seen also other players and other teams do grab it, but this is also the Renata Glass. This is, I mean, this is as standard gets. Just run it, have fun with it.
And Renata great into these sort of team fighting comps already as well. And they will have to jump with the J4, with the Callista. So Orbital, very aggressive early game coming up from Maryville. Winthrop are not backing down whatsoever. Instead of picking, a scaling team fight to try and match, they've gone with Caitlyn. They want to be able to dominate this lane, to be able to bully and shut down this Callista. And if it works, Orbital, Maryville need a strong carry from mid and potentially top. One more carry might not work if Callista is completely shut down.
And that's where we're going to see that focus, right? With that mid lane Orianna pickup, I wouldn't be surprised to see that double ban thrown from Winthrop into that mid lane. Go ahead and get an even more solid matchup. Get that Orianna into a much more favorable position. There it is, the Syndra. I think this is appropriate once again. Another long-range reaching backline stun that you can't allow to get into mobility saver. However, now, I mean, where do you really ban? Do you want to try and throw bans into that support role? The rel can always be flexed down there, and it seems to be the right call. Hey, go ahead, ban that Lux. Let's see if we can funnel instead of the long-range poke. Take away those options from the Caitlyn.
And I'm curious, if you're going to ban the Lux, are you going to go with the Karma ban as well to stop that oppressive bot lane from coming through? And if you do, keep in mind top lane is still open for both of these teams, so we might see the pinch. Okay, that's a bug of some sort.
That is actually Cash, by the way. That is the second ban. That's Ash's twin sister Cash. That is the fifth ban there. No, it's not. We'll get word of what that is, but that is very funny to see there. Now I'm also curious if that's actually a Gnar ban, right? Like, is that actually a Gnar? I haven't seen Gnar in quite some time.
Yeah, and when I think of Denethor as well, I don't really think of the Gnar necessarily. He's not a player who I associate with that one too much, and he's got enough picks. Orbital, you have news.
Yes, I do. I've gotten word from the magic man behind our cameras and all of the production, our amazing Shiro. It is going to be Azir to be banned away here, and this leans a little bit more understandably, right? Azir, another power pick that teams do not want to deal with. The Gnar's going to stay there, though, which is quite surprising. So we'll get word on that one. The old school Morgana, though.
Yeah.
This is running as old as you can get.
Yeah, and it's still solid, right? The eternal dark binding that feels like it lasts for eternity with the cupcakes. And more importantly, the back shield is going to be massive here, Orbital, because now you can chuck that black shield onto whoever your carry is, who's going to be massive in that team fight, on the Caitlyn in lane to try and deal with that hostile takeover from Renata. Maryville on the other side, still looking to pick up their solo lanes at this point. Nothing left to hide. Of course, it's going to be Aatrox. I mean, both Abyss Watcher as well. Denethor has been playing a lot of this in solo queue, and it pairs very well with that team fighting idea. But it is very short-ranged so far from Maryville.
I mean, at that point, it's almost like the denial tool, right? You want to keep that rel away or whatever else is going to come in the top side, and maybe you can get a flank on the other, but it is going to be that Nico. This one feels like a very nice overall tie-in, right? You can follow up behind the J4. If you so wish, you're able to cause a little bit of disruption if that Morgana wants to come in, and now you get the denial tool on the Renekton that will be locked in. The top lane, pretty tried and true. Mid lane, tried and true. Bot lane, a little bit silly. I haven't seen Morgana in quite some time in upper level play. I've seen it in my solo queue. It works well. I like it. But the jungle with the rel, it is finally confirmed.
Yeah. Okay, so both comps have come through in Orbital. It's a best of 5 for game 1. Both teams have opted for massive team fighting wombo combo. I do like Maryville's a little bit more if they can get it off. It feels like they have more damage. They've got more layering of that CC, but I am a little bit concerned about range, about actually trying to get that engage across. And sure, Amazo's got J4, great engage. Sure, you've got that Fate's Call from that Callista. But for Winthrop, they have a lot of ways to kind of get around it. They've got a lot of range and the ability to kind of poke you as you approach Maryville. At level 1, already grouping up to get in range, question mark? I don't know if you can.
I mean, if you burn a flash, sure. They should see the Caitlyn. I think they're right on the edge of mobility. I mean, what do they want to actually do? Oh, okay, maybe they didn't see. I'm sad. I thought they saw the Caitlyn there and they were going to try and burn the flash. But it is just going to be a search and destroy mission that neither seeks nor destroys. So we go back to raw basic setup. No wars really going down on the other side. A little bit of a touch and go from Sword and Shuki's. But it's the standard, right? Maryville will be seen on Raptors whenever Amazo decides to go there. And Winthrop get freedom. Double wards go down. A little bit of early information.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how the early game's gonna go here for both these teams, because I do think Winthrop had some really good side lanes for laning, specifically Renekton into Aatrox early on. That is Renekton favorite. You will get the shove, and hey, with the Rel as well, it does set up for some nice ganks. Rel with the CC chain, and in the bot lane, the fact that we talk about Caitlyn Morg as being one of those oppressive bot lanes, along with the likes of Lux, Karma. A lot of poke, and if that CC lands, it should be kills. So Winthrop going to be able to apply pressure. Now, my big question mark is Trickster, or Walkout, as he's called tonight. As we mentioned before, he's the guy I'm kind of looking at to make things happen, but Rel, as a jungler, is not quite as aggressive as the likes of a J4, so he has to coordinate with his lanes a little bit more if he wants to have that early game impact. He's got the lanes for it, but can they quite make things click?
Praying for that opportunity. Maybe you get a Dark Binding, and then you get that 3 seconds to walk up and say, hey, I'm here. Don't worry, guys. I can walk my way forward. That's going to be a dash between the two top laners as we see the Abyss Watcher and Denethor try and duke it out. And so far, the only real challenge that we've seen is in this bot lane, right? Both ADCs actually got taken quite low at level 1. They both burned their pots, and it's actually Angle that decided to go ahead and hang on to that biscuit. So early trades from the ADCs means level 3 and 4 can be quite dangerous if the junglers get involved.
And I like what Angle and Tycho are trying to do down there, get that early pressure. As the Callista, you need to be trading aggressively with this Caitlyn, if you can, because if not, the range advantage is just going to hurt you over time. Top lane, we're just going to keep seeing Denethor and Abyss Watcher trade. Normally, I'm not too worried, but both of them are getting kind of low, and I've seen both of them kind of go for these really high mechanical outplay style kills, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see First Blood come down up top.
I mean, that's, you might call top lane, but it's bot lane that's getting the gank here. We are seeing that dash in and a little bit of a dash or a slow roll, as that's going to be the Black Shield. Well, Cal does not get the sun. Good dodge on the biting, and now it's Retribution. Amazo coming in for the second. That's going to be a chunk taken down to Chuki's. The cookie might go down. Heal comes out from ability to get them back to safety as Amazo is still looking. That's going to be a tether and a root. Good dash up, but not a dash out. You had the flash as well, and the rend is not going to be enough. Multiples low on Winthrop as the first gank does not go their way.
I love that this is what we see. It should have been kills in multiple ways, but they're all able to get out. And huge props to Angle and Zyko as well, because they were the ones who got ganked first. I'm going to be honest, Angle and Zyko holding that flash, playing it perfectly. They didn't need Amazo to come down to get out alive. Amazo going down there was to look for the kill instead. And Amazo going to be able to dominate a little bit more, get that scuttle top side. Abyss Watcher playing with fire. Denethor is very healthy and is just waiting for cooldowns.
I mean, you got the TP off, right? You are trying to force this if you are Denethor, and with the aggression on the bot side, you knew you had a little bit of time. You know that the junglers are not there, so you can fight this as much as you want. That's going to be a slash. Another Q takes it quite low. Flash out. The flash out of the tower, but the document's enough. Abyss Watcher forces Denethor to stare a bit too long down there.
The micro movements, Denethor, I think he actually canceled one of his autos, unfortunately. Turned around, thought he had it, and it just came down to inches. Abyss Watcher being able to pick that up is massive. Orbital, you said it yourself. Denethor used the TP already to get that lane pressure, and because it backfires, Abyss Watcher going to be able to farm this wave, has TP to get back in lane with even more items in pocket.
You said it before, it ain't gonna be too quiet here. Death abound everywhere and then some. And we're already seeing the movements, right? With that, with those kills in top and the aggression on the bot side, we are seeing some chances to get back in the mid lane, trying to roam out, get some information. These mid laners are gonna want to start affecting the lanes as well. Abyss Watcher is still sitting on low HP as Denethor just ran straight back, and Abyss Watcher is just baiting at this point. Angry movements, I have to say. I love it. Jungle Realm moving down towards that bot lane once again, because this time around, pretty much no summoners. You can see Angle only has that cleanse, which is only going to work once. Might be enough. Okay. That's going to be the question. Attempt number 2 here. Another good black shield and a good stun, but the cleanse works, and they get out. That is so wrong. Taking low ignite might be able to burn him down. No, Angle's fine. That is the second time Winthrop have tried and got nothing for their bot lane engage.
On one hand, yes, Winthrop isn't getting the kills here, but on the other hand, I feel like they're trying to get mobility and Chuki's that lane advantage that was supposed to come with a Caitlyn Morg lane. It's just Angle and Zyko. They're playing this so well. They know exactly how much they can take. And that time, they didn't really have combat summoners available. Angle had cleanse, and that was about it. And Angle didn't even recall on that. So the advantage I thought Winthrop materialized didn't even happen, because Angle still catches pretty much the entire wave right there.
I mean, it's just... I'm scared, RC. I'm scared for what's happening, right? Winthrop, that's the second time, and again, you can see the movements even from Wakao has been looking at that bot lane. There has been no, I don't even want to say deviation towards that top or mid. I think only in passing did Sword get a little bit of a buff, but Amazo's had free reign. You can see at this point, the 2 ganks on the bot side have not panned out, and because of that, you are behind. About 4 camps on Amazo's side is huge here, and you already had the pickaxe in pocket, so a lot of extra pieces handed over to Maryville's side. That also grants them the dragon to start things off, maybe get the global objective rolling.
And it's a double whammy as well. Not only are you behind camps and levels, but the lanes that you were supposed to win out early haven't panned out. I mean, Abyss Watcher is winning, and bot side, sure, mobility has more CS, but Angle hasn't been shut down whatsoever. And once you hit level 6, that's when things get a little bit dicey. That's when Kalista starts finding engages onto this Caitlyn, onto this Morgana as well. So Maryville sitting pretty, really happy, and I'm just waiting for Amazo to get his first gank off, especially if it is at level 6.
Oh no. Oh, Denethor, you don't like this. You can't expend the ult. You don't want to use it right now just to stay alive, but Abyss Watcher is forcing you back again. It is denied. This is now the 3rd time that Denethor is sitting here going, really, this is my life now? And Wakao is nowhere close to helping out.
Yeah, you can still look. I was still actively looking to get kills. If anything, Amazo finally looking at this bot lane first is going to be a little bit ahead. I think the junglers will see each other. And I'm going to be honest, I favor MU. If a fight breaks out in terms of kill threat, I think this Kalista is a little bit scarier. Yes, Caitlyn more lane dominant, but less burst damage.
Well, for right now, we'll see as a very nice denial. Wakao realizing they're not in the best position. Can't really fight for that scuttle and have to give it away. Angle now rotating around, gets a good stab. Over the wall you go. Wakao just taking out that pink ward. At least you get something down there. It's minimal. It's extremely minimal. What? It's only like 25 gold back, but you get something for your troubles.
Hey man, if you can hold Amazo, maybe slow him down a little bit. Amazo still hasn't thrown the first gank. The Cataclysm is available on the line. Denethor, no Dominus.
We saw this happening, and Denethor's just got no way out, and we were wondering after that first close 50-50 tower dive that Denethor took, how is this going to pan out? Well, RMC, I think we know that answer. Abyss Watcher gets a tower dive kill.
Yeah, normally, what's the saying? If you stare into the abyss stares back. In this case, if you stare at Abyss Watcher, the abyss is already staring back there. Yeah, it's rough for Denethor. Unfortunately, it's not going to change anytime soon. He needs jungle pressure. Angle going in.
Oh no, that is very close to death. Everyone in the bot side, we're talking about tower dives in the top side. Well, I want to say Angle and Zyko took an unintentional tower dive there. Everyone's sitting at about 200 or less, and neither one wants to make that wrong set. Meanwhile, the junglers are fighting over this Herald, and no one's really able to help. In goes the ace in the hole, which does nothing except take a little bit of a chunk out of Zyko. Abyss Watcher now watching as this Herald is being fought over, and it's now a 2v3. I think Amazo might give it up unless you look for the steal. Out goes on the spot side, though, a little bit of a chance. Ult denied, as that is a very nice headshot. Zyko just barely alive, and in all of the fighting across the rift, it is MU to lose out. Winthrop get Herald.
The fight
Is it
might
gonna
not be
continue?
over yet. Yeah,
I was about to say, is it going to continue? But Abyss Watcher's level 9. I'm not sure you actually want to take this.
True. That's really scary for Denethor and Wakao. I'm actually surprised they were able to secure Herald, and I think a lot of that is coming off Sword in the mid lane orbital. The one lane we haven't talked too much about. Sword has been quietly just farming, continuing to be a threat, and his ability to deny entry with this Orianna, with the ball into bushes specifically, is probably what's keeping Winthrop in for these objectives when they're looking to contest it. Now, you can do that right now, when it's not a 5v5, what happens when everybody is grouped up? That's when I'm a little bit concerned if the Orianna alone will be sufficient to win those tides.
And that's where you start looking at the items, right? You're praying for items to come through. As we talk about items, it's going to be matched or actually taken advantage of. Abyss Watcher already has that Gore Drinker, which means they're unkillable. At this current time, I hate saying it, but they're unkillable because Amazo is going to walk forward saying, hey, we have that advantage. We know topside is fine. Now let's look at the jungle. And that's just easy chunks. Chuki's got nothing, no flash, no nothing. And you're just dead. An easy pickup kill. Now looking at a tower dive in this bot side if there's a wish angle. Setting things up, gets another plate. And mobility's got nothing. You have flash, but I don't think it's even worth to use. Get Back comes in with the Q and steals it away. I say steals because literally anyone could have taken that one. Well done, tower dive to MU.
Gifted, shall we say, into that.
Okay. Gifted is a better term. I like that.
I mean, it's the one lane that isn't outright crushing right now. Denethor running away around the wall. But what's scary is Abyss Watcher now is starting to deny Denethor from even approaching this wave, from being able to see us. We knew the Gore Drinker was a huge breakpoint, but the fact that he can do that and that Wakao can't actually go into the top lane for a gank. If you do at this point, Abyss Watcher probably 1v2s you. So Maryville, has a really, really strong phase of the game to play through. TPs are almost up. They can continue to pressure top while threatening this dragon, and Winthrop kind of have to sit back a little bit and not force unless they can find a pick in advance of these plays.
I mean, who are they really going to pick? You take a look around, and I mean, flashes are up, not just TPs. You know it's already going to be a 5v4. Denethor just TP'd to the top side, so you have none on your end. But I mean, who are you really going to catch? Everyone on the side of MU has that safety factor, and if you're tracking timers, you're just like, this kind of sucks. I don't want to do this. I want to get something. And Amazo now looking and watching as this mid lane is fought over. Cal dropping that Herald in the mid lane, trying to get a little extra CS for Sword. As you said, that one lane that is gifting a little bit of an exchange, now called over towards this Drake. Zyko, now rooted, question marks. That's going to be the call, bringing your support back, and now the knock up behind, if you so wish. You draw Chuki's in, and there's not a single thing you can do with the TP in the backline. Abyss Watcher said, it's all mine. Magnus Storm does little to stop this Aatrox. And it's MU to run the show. They are not letting go of this game. They had the wheel firmly in their grasp, and that's going to be the dive forward. Psycho does not care if they die. They set up their team perfectly. Double kill behind. Cataclysm to join Mobility, and Mobility is not their namesake. They are dead. Amazo to slay. 3-0 for Maryville.
They didn't get the turret. They didn't get the dragon. They didn't need to orbital. They can just revisit this bot lane, pull the same thing. Chuki's just going to try and delay this back, I suspect. There we go.
Okay. I was wondering if it was going to be a W or Q, right? Like, the cheeky W is the worst, I feel.
Yeah, if you're Winthrop, I mean, either would have worked. You're just trying to buy Denethor as much time in this top lane to pick up plates. And normally, that'd be good. That'd be great. It allows Denethor to catch back up. But unfortunately, Abyss Watcher did get kills in that bot lane. So while it does close the gap a little bit, it's exactly that orbital. It's just a little bit, and Denethor will continue to struggle in that 1v1.
At this point, it is Maryville, all hands on deck. They say we are in the lead. We have more than enough in our favor. We can do what we like and expect them to start pressuring even more so, right? This bot lane isn't open by any stretch, but we can already see the little rotates get back, holding the top lane for Abyss Watcher, rotating back and not losing a single beat, only 4 CS behind their opponent. And keep in mind, this mid lane was really the one that we were saying Sword keeping pace, 134 and counting. We need to see a bit more out there as this top lane will be destructed. Abyss Watcher not only has that blue buff, has that Q up in crazy rationale, but Denethor is just like, I don't know what to do right now.
Well, Denethor's doing what he has to, which is just trying to farm and buy time, right? Like, until you hit that mythic, you're not contesting that. And for a Renekton especially, that feels terrible because you picked the Renekton to win that matchup in the first place. First turret finally goes down. Maryville able to take it off the back of that 4-man play down there, 5-man actually, since Abyss Watcher TP'd in. And this kind of speeds things up a little bit for Maryville because now they're able to rotate that Callista around. And keep in mind, Callista and J4 are probably their best forms of Initiate.
Get ready to be initiated on. And Amazo's like, well, not in that one. I don't want to deal with that one. There were 3 people there, by the way, to take the scuttle. Winthrop were not taking any chances there. Said, this is ours. For the time being, bot lane did fall with plates up, so Maryville get a nice chunk of gold, now sitting at about 3.8k in their own favor. Now you get a look at other directions. This top lane is very, very low. If Maryville wish, they could force that. In the mid lane has barely been touched. Getback has not really taken a chunk out of that tower. So go ahead, rotate bot. As you said, the Callista is now starting to rotate around the side. But Zyko saying, hey, maybe we can get a fight here. That'll be a binding to slow things down. Zyko not allowed to get closer. But it is Sword and Shuki's denied from this mid lane. And Sword has to go the long way around.
Yeah, trying to collapse on to get back in the bot lane. Little bit scary. No flash, but the Proto Belt is available, and so is the Pot Blossom. So if they want to gank this, it has to go perfectly.
I like the fact that Shuki said, I don't want to. And as soon as Shuki's backed away, I was like, I don't want to either. There's still, no,
it's too late.
The wave is so low. There's no wave. And look at the clone. It's so well done. They're going to try and jump in, but the Pot Blossom is enough. And now the rest of the team is here. It was so well called in Maryville. Yes, they will get a single kill, but how many will they lose? That'll be Shuki's to go ahead and get bound up, and the cleanse to come out as well. And because of that, you lost 2, possibly 3 as Wakao is getting chased. You might get to safety to Sword, but you've lost so many. What a moment. Winthrop, they hesitate, and the hesitation cost them their life.
Zyko, no!
Oh, Zyko's fine because mid lane is really the chance. We saw Amazo look there, but yeah, Wakao is allowed to live. We'll call that allowing to live.
Trickster pulling tricks once again. Wakao, I can't believe he got out there. Now, in the mid lane, Sword again was trying to chip away on the turret. Again, they're just trying to buy time. So Sword is trying to do the best they can, but it's not enough. And when your side lane's starting to fall apart like that, that's not good. Winthrop feeling desperate. That's why they made that play. And in the top lane, Abyss Watcher finally takes down a turret of his own. And all said and done, Orbital, that's a 5,000 gold lead that Maryville have been able to amass. Taking down both outer turrets on the side lanes also means that this mid lane is going to be so much harder to defend for Winthrop. So Maryville really starting to take over this mid game.
And normally you see this type of gold lead and they have to give something on the other side, right? Hey, maybe you gave up dragons, maybe Winthrop were able to collect there. No, they've actually lost out on the global game as well, right? I think Winthrop were only allowed 1 Rift Herald. That was it. It was dropped in mid lane. It got 2 plates, tops. After that, it's been all MU. In fact, in a minute, they're going to look at Soul Point, which is crazy to think about. At just 18.5 minutes, that could be a crazy turnaround. Now in the mid lane, we're seeing a change up as Winthrop realized this as well. They need to make that play. As you said, desperation building. 5 currently collected around this mid lane, but dragging up in 45.
And for Winthrop, if they want to make a hero play, if they want to make a winning team fight happen, they need to play around Sword. That's what we've been missing from a lot of these skirmishes that Winthrop have been pulling off. And partially, it's on Maryville that they've been forcing away from this mid lane. But even in the bot lane, when they tried, you needed to have Orianna on that dive. You weren't going to be able to pull it off otherwise. Herald dropped into the mid lane just for some pressure. I don't even know if we can get the charge off, actually.
You should be able to. I think they collect.
Okay,
yeah, that is going to be one. I found it funny that Shuki's missed the binding on the Herald, and you just saw it whiz by and like, oh.
Yeah, a little bit too late as well. Once the wind-up animation starts, you can't really stop it from going through, so you need to kind of tag and bind Herald a little bit further away. Abyss Watcher continue to push on the side lane with Get Back on that bot side. So it's a 3v4 situation in the mid lane, and Winthrop trying to force this one, will secure turret, but...
Yeah, they might pay with their lives, so that's going to be the hostile takeover, getting in the back lane, and it sets everyone else up perfectly. However, Get Back is a little bit further behind, flashes Sakai and help out. Abyss Watcher taking the second half of this fight, and says you're all denied. The carries, the absolute gold slinging from Maryville. Net 3 for the loss of their tower.
And you can't defend this. Denethor and Shukis just need to walk away and recognize that they took an absolute beating. Orbital, Maryville don't even opt to push. I actually think they grouped this 5. They could have potentially taken that inner turret, and Denethor and Shukis would just have to watch, but they've fallen back. They're securing Drake, that Cloud Soul that you're talking about, or Cloud Soul Point, pardon me, you were talking about. And the other thing they have to keep in mind, Baron in 1 minute. Maryville are far ahead enough. They just need to set up vision around that Baron, start the Baron dance early, and if Winthrop take 1 step out of place, they get wiped. It's Baron. It's effectively game over.
And this is something Maryville do to an exceptional degree, I think. They know how to play this kind of stifling gameplay. Normally we see kind of the, I want to say the snowball, right? You just see teams, once they get a lead, they keep forcing plays, and it just is a never-ending cascade. Maryville feel more like, I want to say the old school suffocation style, where it's just every time you make a move against them, you feel like there's no choice but to regress. If it even works, if your dive works, if your fight works, if you get a little bit of a push somewhere else, they have an answer. And as soon as you fail one thing, you're behind. It is a suffocating. It is one of the worst feelings to have in League of Legends, where literally everything you do feels like you're losing no matter what you do.
Yeah, and part of it is Maryville's just really used to winning. So when they're ahead, they know exactly what they need to do. And a lot of it just comes from strong laners. We saw this game, at least, a lot of it was individual laning, especially in the side lanes, kind of punishing Winthrop for attempts in the early game. Wakao in trouble, 4 levels down against the Abyss Watcher.
Oh, and that, when you catch out the jungler, you know you can do even more. So the Magnus Storm and Shockwave may be coming out here, but I mean, Abyss Watcher just does not care. The slam is too real, and now the catch on the sword. Another knockup to follow, a flash to catch, and it's dubs and dubs and dubs on the back end. Chuki falls. That was one of the roughest scenarios to have. Denethor is going to be turned into a purse here in just a second. There's no getting away. You have the dominance, but the dominance is nothing but Amazo. It's gonna get the reset here, and you are more than alive. MU take 4 with mobility running away right now. Get back, just dancing on them.
So I believe I was told by production that it's apparently Denethor's 20th birthday today. Maryville just threw a party, a massive party. You know what? I don't think Denethor liked it.
Not a moment. Not any. It was a surprise party. Denethor just said I wanted a small one. They brought like 20 friends, and they're like, "This is terrible. I don't like this." Denethor is just like, "Please stop. Please stop."
Yeah, for Winthrop, things are looking pretty dire. Baron has spawned. Surprisingly, Maryville actually hasn't gone for it because they've still been making plays all over the map. But I feel like Baron is that Hail Mary for Winthrop right now. If you can't win a fight there, I don't hold out much hope, unfortunately, for anything else, because Maryville has been playing the turrets, the sieges, perfectly, and they've been rotating and catching everybody whenever they're trying to cover those side lanes right now. Maryville taking this one slow, looking to see if they can spot anybody out, and Wakao again gets caught.
Oh, and you can't even get over the wall to stop. This Renata Glask is so rude. Denethor was like, "Can I help? Can I help? Can I help my horse?" No, I can't. There is no helping this. You just gotta give. You gotta walk away. Maryville with that kill on the jungler, as you said, they just should have free roam, right? This Baron is free for the taking. Abyss Watcher is actually on the hunt for another kill if you can, but that pink ward is going to keep mobility alive. This is MU. Quite literally, they could take that win. They could take whatever they want, but honestly, they just want to secure the dub, get back, slowing down this Renekton, the Dominus, just to try and get some value. That's going to be the ace in the hole, hitting Amazo inside of the pit. And I mean, maybe you can get a kill. That's going to be a rude. Dominus is still up, but that's a little bit of a slow. Denethor is going to survive, as that's a shutdown for Sword. Maybe they can get it. This Baron might be the damage, but Abyss Watcher is the main carry right now, who is still alive, frontlining with that World Ender. Get Back actually went to the top side after TPing, trying to get a little bit back, but because they lost their ADC, Winthrop can't continue this Baron.
Huge for Winthrop. So remember what we were saying. If Winthrop can win a fight, it will have to be at Baron, and they won the critical fight. That's not Psycho. That's Gatback threatening them. Pop Blossom is available. Protobelt is there for the reposition, and Denethor trying to stop the flank.
Oh, well, that's going to be the call. I was wondering how it was going to go, but that's the catch in. This Baron fight is not over. It is now going to be Maryville to come right back in and fight. This is why I was worried. This is why I was curious. Abyss Watcher and Amazo say no thank you. You thought you won, but you only caught our bait. Denethor, you are dead. Knockup and red buffs galore. Dominance is back up, but I don't think it's going to matter. A couple more slaps will take their life, and it's an ace for Maryville at Baron.
Winthrop tried. I salute them for what they attempted at that Baron. And considering the gold gap, Orbital, they frankly pulled a minor miracle. The problem is a minor miracle wasn't enough. And Maryville respawn, come back in. Winthrop, they had to go for Baron. That's the only play. It didn't work out. And now Maryville picking this one up. If they can just hold for 5 more seconds, they can get on all 5 members. And then it's that final push onto Winthrop.
It's just so good. And as you said, I applaud Winthrop, but only getting a kill on Angle. The crazy thing is I'm even saying this, like, Angle isn't the main carry right now. 3-1-7 on this Kalista. B2. It's the fact that Abyss Watcher was still up, Get Back was still up, and honestly, the flank in was so good. Now, keep in mind, they don't have it for the upcoming fight, but Maryville, I don't think they care that they're not going to have the perfect engage. It's also a Cloud Soul, so, you know, for Winthrop, you're sitting there going, really, we just don't want to give it up, but if you do, it's not like an Infernal Wakao, though, looking for that sniper. The wall Dominus popped early, and they do go in for this dragon. That's going to be the max turn to draw 2, and maybe they get the catch, but again, that's going to be the hostile takeover to slow the entire fight. When you fight each other, you fall. There is no foundation when Manada takes your soul, and Zyko forces that ace out. It is Maryville to not even care for the dragon, as they're looking for the game.
It's 25 minutes. Death timers aren't super long, so they actually do need to group up if they want to push this and end the game right here. They do have Baron buff, and they are going to be pushing Winthrop. 20 seconds will respawn, but Maryville could just force this under the Nexus turrets. Heck, I think they can take at least one, maybe both the Nexus turrets before the respawns come through.
I don't think they're gonna care. They're like, listen, more minions spawn, great for us. We'll take a couple more on our licks. Abyss Watcher 12-0-6, Amazo 5-0-17. Perfect games to start this off as Maryville are looking to have a tear.
Oh my goodness, what an epic game one coming through from Maryville. And hey, props to Winthrop. Again, they fought back, considering how big a deficit they found themselves in after laning phases. There were moments where they were still turning these fights, but we said it before, Maryville are known as the kings of collegiate for a reason. You give them an inch, they'll take the whole foot. They know how to play from ahead. And for Winthrop, it's off the game too. They need to refine their game plan a little bit and make sure they don't fall behind in the early game.
How do you do that? We'll leave it up to the teams to decide. You're here watching NECC. We'll be back with game number 2, a game number 3, and maybe a game 4 and 5. Don't go anywhere, NECC. We'll be right back.
Drop the clutch, pedal to the floor, turn that gatekeeper into a lion's roar. Dream machine, racing queen, I'll take you wherever you wanna go. Let's blow this town, break the speed of sound. Tonight, we own the road. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Red on the highway, blue lights flashing behind me. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Red on the highway, blue lights flashing behind me. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat. You make my heart beat. Started as a whisper, message from a new world. can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven's not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? Can't be for too long. I found where I belong. I can hear it, oh, I can't stop the rush. Every note I touch, I can feel it saving me. Tell me, can you hear the symphony?
Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Yeah. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you?
I wanna know your dark side. I wanna know your secrets. I wanna be your lifeline. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Tell me you're more than just a highlight. Pretty pictures on the outside. I hate to stare at you through these lights. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted.
Game 1 is in the books, and thankfully it's a game 1 of 5 because, man, did Maryville look dominant. If that was a best of 3, I would be sweating in Winthrop's boots. But for right now, it is going to be just that one game. But again, no real openings. Winthrop, they made a couple mistakes, and Maryville just took it to town. And going into game 2, it feels like it could be more of the same.
Well, bro, as one-sided as game 1 might have looked, I do think Winthrop can definitely fight back, because when teams are this good, the smallest mistakes often snowball into massive leads. And I think that's what we saw in game 1. And we said at the end of game 1, it's the early game for Winthrop. They messed up a little bit in the side lanes, and Maryville just kind of took it and ran with it. So going into game 2, well, I think they kind of need to short up their side lanes a little bit. Be careful with how they want to play it. I think the fact that Mobility and Shukis didn't win out necessarily on the Kate Morg, but got so much pressure, kind of backfired. I think if you had left them alone, they'd be fine in isolation. Whereas that matchup between Denethor and Spirax in that top side, that was very, very volatile. I think after the first sort of solo kill, I'd have liked to see Trickster kind of reinforce that top lane rather than trying to find that lead in the bot side.
And the thing about that as well, let's focus in on Trickster a little bit, because you said at the beginning that, hey, we want to see this player really pop off. The Rel is not exactly a champion that you can hard pop off with. It is a champion that you have a few good engages, but that's about it. We want to see that carrying. Because of that, we're getting right into this game number 2, and man, oh man, wow. Winthrop on the blue side are saying we don't want to deal with the Rel.
Okay, and that's interesting, because the junglers are very different, I feel like. Amazo and Wakao here. I think Wakao much more aggressive, whereas I think Amazo, more of a defensive jungler, like really good at setting up the mid-game team fight skirmish. And so I think Rel, Maokai, those are champions that I'd much rather see Amazo on. The J4 removed from Trickster, from Wakao. We talked about it over the fact that he's an aggressive jungler. J4 right up his alley.
Not just that, this is going down the line of what Maryville played before. The Callista band away. This is just like touching on every single point. Now, as you said, the J4 on the other side is very telling. I think it's appropriate, but Maryville's still sticking with the trying to chew guns. We did expect this, right? Still banning away some of those ADCs. Now, of course, the Xayah is the last ban that they could go through for Maryville. They want to touch on those 2 ADCs once again. The Orianna ban, though, man, Winthrop, they are going for some in and out there kind of composition right now.
Yeah, well, I think Winthrop, like you said, they're just trying to change everything up from game 1. Just completely work it over and just say, hey, we'll go into game 2 and we'll try an outdraft. Maryville, on the other hand, the Rakan is a bit of a change-up. So it feels like they're taking away a lot of the initiation tools from Winthrop. Winthrop, they're taking a page out of Maryville's playbook. The Nico first pick in that mid lane, and Orianna is not available as a counter right now. Syndra, however, still is.
And that's the other one that we saw before that was banned away in the second round of bans by Maryville. The Ashe as well. So these are this is why we were kind of curious about how this game 2 was going to shake up. Normally you see a gentle, I want to say gentle shift across the board when you get from game 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? This is a hard shift. Basically, you're taking everything that was banned away in game 1, toss those out, shuffle them around, and then ban away what was in game 1, take what was in game 2, and kind of shift it in, because Azir and the Ashe were both taken away, and now you have it both on Maryville's side. Still, though, taking that Caitlyn on the far end by Winthrop, these are little bits and pieces that they're trying to put together in one singular puzzle.
Okay, but I'm a little bit concerned, because Winthrop lost the early game with counter picks in the side lanes last game. This game, they are blinding their picks. They get themselves Caitlyn Lux, which is one of the most powerful poke bot lanes you can get. But Caitlyn's counter has traditionally been that Ashe, because her volley can also match the range, can outpoke you, and she can push a little bit faster as well. Ashe support with Ezreal, range into range. I don't want to look at this bot lane anymore. I think if Lux can land her bindings, it skills, but it's going to be very, very tough to do so. It's a poke war in that bot lane.
It's literally 4 ADCs almost like hucking abilities at each other over and over again. Lux at this point is a spellcaster. Just hurl artillery at each other, see what happens, and see who wins. We're taking a look now as jungle is left completely open. This is one of the rare times, by the way, that you'll see jungle left open till the breakpoint, top lane left open till the breakpoint, and we're seeing that come out here right now. Winthrop are still very scared of the rumble, which I think is appropriate. You can't give that one over for free. Lee Sin, though, the ban, the respect handed over towards Trickster, this is very appropriate. We did say we are going to wait and see if Wakao is going to get that major shift up, that more aggressive, and it is the Viego as well. Maryville understanding where this is coming from.
Yeah, and if Trickster someone's an aggressive early pick, we're looking at probably down to things like Graves, potentially to come through for him. And for the side of Maryville as well, they're still looking for jungle and top as well. And there's so many things open. If they want the Maokai for a defensive pick, if they want to continue poking, if they want to stop the engage from the likes of Nico, that's still on the table overall because of the way the bans have panned out. Winthrop prioritizing that top lane, Maryville prioritizing their jungle.
I like the fact that if we ever see a team fight, which we shouldn't, by the way, I feel like we shouldn't see a team fight from either of these teams. The fact that it's literally going to be the jungle and top laners that are literally in the middle and just getting free fired on. Vi, though, this is a way to get across that boundary, the distance between all the champions. You go ahead and follow behind. I expect the rest of the team on Maryville to be able to follow behind.
Yeah, and it's great for the laning phase as well, Orbital, because they will get counterpick in top lane. And we've already seen that if Maryville gets a lead in the top lane, for Abyss Watcher, they can really snowball that. Vi will guarantee that bot lane ganks are going to be incredibly potent as well. Caitlyn Lux, great for poke, not so great for survival. And now Winthrop's in a bit of a bind as to where they want to go. I was wondering if they're going to try and match and find some sort of way to stop engages. No, they're doubling down. They want the engage. Nocturne Nico combo is really, really good at finding backlines, at cutting out the lights, and making sure that you can flash your way in. No, that was bad. Overall. You know what? Like I said, I don't think of Denethor as a Gnar player necessarily. I was thinking more like his Camille, which also did get banned. Something that I know him for things like his Gwen, that he skills up amazingly on. But the Gnar, it's the blind pick, it's the safe pick. I'm going to be honest, I actually really don't like it into the Vi, because Vi can absolutely punish you in mini Gnar form. And not only can she punish you, but now we're seeing the Aatrox to come through as well. Maryville know exactly what they're going to run into Denethor, and I am worried for him.
This is going to be a chance, right? Denethor granted that opportunity to play a little bit more of a comfortable pick, but granted, remember how it fell apart in that top lane. It wasn't exactly, hey, Abyss Watcher getting a massive lead outright with the CS and then punishing for it. It was a 1v1 tower dive that technically Denethor was winning out, had that opportunity in just a very small slip up. So we talked about it, Maryville now on the red side. They are a team that love to punish small mistakes. For Winthrop, they have a composition that, hey, you can go ahead and take leads if you wish. This time around, try not to make those small mistakes, as hard as that is, of course, and don't let it choke you out. We are into game number 2 here. Maryville with ones up, and Winthrop hunting for one of their own.
Orbital, we're talking about mistakes coming through for Winthrop in game 1, but here in game 2, it's not just unforced errors they have to watch out for. They have to watch out for ganks from Amazo on Maryville, because the Vi ganks are a lot more potent early on than the Nocturne. And watching Wakao pick a Nocturne for Winthrop right now tells me that they're looking to kind of hit that level 6 and then have impact in these fights. Try and pick off isolated targets a little bit more. And I'm not expecting to see pressure go into this bot lane for this Caitlyn Lux or to relieve Denethor too much in this top lane. So these sort of strong individual lanes have to win out on their own.
You say that, and then we're going to see Wakao gank at level 3 in that bot side and just be like, hey, I'm here. I am aggressive. But
the element of surprise, I guess. It's valid.
What we're seeing here, though, is that slow start as we see Amazo getting a little bit of help. Wakao not really getting any help of their own. And simple starts. This is also something really fun that I think good Nikos will do. They will try and aggress with that range. It's a very interesting concept, right? You can trade between with those little cloning abilities, but you get the range behind it too. So, hey, you give yourself a little extra range to play with.
Yeah, there we go. The Caitlyn auto attack pokes as well. Nico, very, very strong base numbers. So her poke, especially early on, really does hurt. And Azir, unfortunately, not so much. I think he's been reworked a couple of times now that he's really more about scaling up and attacking with those sand soldiers. The Q poke is not anywhere nearly as potent. So I expect Mobility to win out, pardon me, not Mobility, Sword, who was masquerading as Mobility at the time, to be able to win out, kind of like what we saw a little bit in game 1 when he was playing that Oriana.
It's gonna have some fun here. That's all I can really say. Like, I'm watching Sword constantly swap between Mobility and the NECC. I'm just like, this is gonna be a brain buster. Like, thankfully we know which ones are the clones, which ones are the differences, but it's gonna rack my brain like crazy here. Taking a look, rest of the lanes keeping pretty simple. Both junglers have started on that top side, meaning they will meet in the bot lane. And I know you said you didn't want to see aggression come out, but it's either the bot laners get the aggression or the junglers meet head to head on the scuttle. Denethor getting a little bit of a dance in the way, but nothing more than just raw damage.
So I guess I should clarify. I'm not against aggression necessarily from the side of Winthrop. I'm just very scared if they do because of jungle pressure. But if they can track where Amazo is, then I like what they're doing, because you pick the Caitlyn Lux to win your lane. And for a lot of times with Caitlyn Lux, it's not just about kills. That's not necessarily how you win. It's also about plating and constant shove, getting that pressure to let your jungler either farm safely or get those early objectives. So Mobility and Chukis right now with that ward and river, I love what they're doing. There is a timer though. At level 6, even with wards, Vi can really force those ganks.
You know what can be forced as well? Zyko's HP bar. On this Ashe, not really enjoying this poke. And by the way, Chukis and Mobility have completely foregone angle. I just want to point that out. The last set of spell reels that Mobility and Chukis have thrown out have been specifically on Zyko, and this is something that I think, if you played bot lane enough, you know what to do. They don't really have safety. You go ahead and just punish over and over again, and you're like, yeah, this is what we want to do. We want to not allow you to have a fun time. And at the final Q, what did we just say? Zyko eats the tail end of that Peacemaker.
Zyko had heal up and available as well, as he would have survived the Piltover Peacemaker, but he just didn't think he was going to die right there. And First Blood going over to Mobility. This is the start that Winthrop wanted. This is that early game they were looking for and didn't quite get. And overall, we said, no mistakes in the early game. Hasn't happened yet. Denethor, he's fine. He's got flash. He's safe.
Good out. I mean, also in Mininart, you're fine. Like, you're not worried with that bounce. Main thing here is the dance, right? Denethor making sure that while inside of this Mininart, you can dance around Abyss Watcher. It allowed time for Wakao to join up in the top side. And this time around, it is Amazo that's getting tracked. Amazo that's losing out in the CS trades and in those camp trades as well.
Yeah, we talked about the fact it has to come from his lanes. His lanes are paying off. Even right here, Get Back cannot move topside to reinforce.
It's so close to death. This rotation coming in here as Amazo, realizing that they're in trouble, has to pump out, giving up their wave. And Wakao gets a free camp in this mid lane. Zyko not in a good spot. Finally flashes out, but this is now the second time Zyko forced away in less than a minute.
Yeah, and the rotations as well from Winthrop secure Wakao all the space he needs to power farm. We're saying that Wakao probably looking for that level 6 before he really makes any aggressive move into the lanes. Well, he's ahead of Amazo right now. He will be able to get that, and so that pressure we were worried about Vi being able to get. Now, Maryville has to watch out because they do have a couple of immobile members. While Abyss Watcher might be okay, while Angle might be okay, Zyko's been having a rough time, and it's not going to get easier when Nocturne starts getting paranoid.
At that point, you're just praying to have ult up, right? And just fire the arrow over and over again and just be like, please, can I hit something? Please, can I hit something? Please, can I hit something? Because that's all you're going to be good for. If you don't get your ult off, you're in trouble. That's just the gist of it. Mobility now stepping up. And at level 5, Zyko not enjoying this fact, right? Massive wave built up. Angle trying to farm it up as fast as possible. And now in the mid lane, we're seeing Sword eat some damage. Question marks abound, though, as Wakao is given free reign over this dragon. Try and take it as soon as possible if you wish. And then you're pretty happy about that setup. So for Winthrop, a much better start here. And we were just seeing all these little pieces falling into place for them.
Yeah, and for Wakao, he also gets to see that Amazo path away from the mid lane. So you've got pressure on the bot side. It's a free dragon for you to be able to pick up. You're going to hit 6 as well. And we said everything's going Winthrop's way. Now what I want to see from Winthrop is from them to continue accelerating the pace of the game. Do not let up at this point. And that first gang from them, let's see how it goes as well, because we've seen, tower dives go a little bit wonky in game 1, and you cannot afford to do that, Maryville. That's how they get back into this rough early game.
You know how you get away from tower dives? You dive in the middle of the lane. However, it will be MU to try and make a move here. Denethor with no flash. You get no way out. You do pay the price of your life for this dragon, and I think for Winthrop, it's just like, oh, dang. Well, we lost one. We still got the objective.
Yeah, they were just trying to get pressure to get that Wakao complete the dragon. It took a very long time, actually, for Wakao to pick up that first Ocean Drake. He is now level 6, and let's see if he can return the favor into that top lane, because Abyss Watcher, it is a bit of a tough gank, but Denethor has been doing a really good job using the range of Gnar to win a lot of these early trades, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Abyss Watcher on this Aatrox will still struggle to get in range and to be able to actually land those pullbacks with tier 2 boots completed for Denethor.
A little bit of a shake-up, a little bit of a touch and go, and I mean, Denethor just was like, yeah, okay, I died once, it's okay, I'm so good. Let's go ahead, get back to farming, try and keep pace there. Bot side, though, Zyko is just eating these Peacemakers literally at the tip. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Even through the heal, by the way. This is Chuki's immobility having such a fun time.
Okay, this is what I expected from the Caitlyn Morg lane in game 1 Orbital, and I'm glad we're starting to see it here. Now, if Wakao wants to pick up some free kills, bot lane is great right now. Angle and Zyko, when they're low, you can dive them. But I don't think he needs to go down to this bot lane anymore. That's a winning bot lane. Why don't you go influence some of the other lanes? Mid is still available. Top side, as we mentioned, is a bit tougher. But if you're willing to rotate Sword up as well, you can definitely dogpile onto Abyss Watcher. No Gore Drinker completed. Heck, we might not see a Gore Drinker as we see Serrated Dirk being picked up. Means that topside is a lot more killable than he was in game 1.
He's happily killable, is what they like to say. It is a possibility. For right now, though, it's just safety in numbers, if you will. Amazo was able to scum away a little bit of a red buff, take that one away, and be able to try and catch back up. Only about 3 camps behind the likes of Wakao, but this Watcher going into this World Ender saying, hey, Get Back is here, and with no flash, this will be the kill. I think they're going to try and give it to Get Back. I'm not sure that's going to be possible. Because of that, you might have actually given it away. Abyss Watcher has to slam down that sword. Meanwhile, because it took a little bit longer than expected, it will be an attempt on a dive in this bot side. Ace in the hole goes in. Wakao realizing that Amazo might be close, but they say we don't care. A dive underneath, and that'll be the fear. It's an easy kill as tower falls as well. This will be Winthrop to put down the pressure, get gold, and get an open lane.
A second charge into the bot inner turret. Amazo trying to cover, but your melee into a lot of range has out available, but no follow-up. Angle had already backed up, so Winthrop definitely walking away the victor of that side lane trade. Even though Get Back gets the gank off, it's not worth it. And now this Lux Caitlyn, once you take the turret, you just rotate them right into the next lane, into the mid lane, try and siege it up. They've got 3.5 minutes to take as many plates as they can get.
The Demolition Crew is what we're going to call Winthrop's composition right now. It's the demo crew. They just wander side lane to side lane. They're just like, yeah, we know exactly what our job is.
Yeah, but they've got to do it fast, because that permit for demolition expires real quick. And unfortunately, Caitlyn Lux don't scale incredibly well into the mid game. Late game, they'll be fine, but the mid game is coming up, and I think that's what Maryville's comp was looking to play at. Those skirmishes, those picks come the mid game. So we'll have to see Mobility and Chuki's what they're able to find. They actually didn't go to the mid lane. They actually rotated to the top lane instead. So saying, hey, it's probably easier to push into this Aatrox than it is going to be into the wave clear that Nazir brings.
I mean, I can agree with that, but it also means that things get a little bit sticky, and for Wakao, or actually Sword, it's a problem because of the rotations. You got caught out on an angle, and what did we say, right? We said Winthrop know how to play with some of these dances. Zyko is still barely alive, by the way, has no defensive stats inherently. Chuki's over the wall, is now going to get caught. Abyss Watcher is once again in a rolling spree, 3-0-1, going to get over the wall. Wakao, not in a good spot. You do have flash, but I don't know if it's going to get away. A snipe from downtown takes you quite low. And now it's gonna be Denethor flashing away to save your own life, and Mininar, you ain't got much. But Maryville, they found an opportunity in the rotate, in the catch a sword, and they take it for all it's worth.
We saw Sword TP into the mid lane as well. Has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't get caught out with all the sort of rotations we've seen come through.
Oh
Shuffle.
no. I mean, you got Flash and you got the Pop Blossom, so
Okay.
it might be a little bit far-fetched for the rest of Maryville to take. And you don't have World Ender as well. Abyss Watcher is going to fall whether you like it or no. No, you don't get away from that. Okay, Ace in the Hole once again comes through. I was like, if you get away here, that is a problem for Winthrop.
I was just watching Zyko see, would the heal be enough to try and keep Abyss Watcher alive? Unfortunately not. So Winthrop able to brute force that one and keep things in their favor. Good timing as well, as second Drake is spawning. So Winthrop going to be able to just go down and pick that one up. For all that Maryville found the pick in rotation, they got the kill and very little much else.
These small skirmishes, you called it earlier, right before it all kicked off, into small skirmishes. It's scary to watch right now. Dragon will go to Winthrop, as you said, but to kind of look back at what's been going on, 4 kills on either side, it's still a nice gold chunk to the likes of Winthrop. But we do have to state, Abyss Watcher, Spyrax on this Aatrox has been able to leverage a strong lead. 3-1-1, also diversifying, not going for that Gore Drinker build, went straight for that raw damage, looking for the brutalization. And that scares me to a very strong degree.
Yeah, there's a lot of squishies on the other side. You don't have to worry about staying alive if nobody's alive on the other side to really hurt you. The other problem for Winthrop a little bit is we're almost at the 14-minute mark. Plates are about to drop, and Mobility and Chukis have not been able to actually reset into that top lane. Because of all that skirmishing, Chukis got pulled away, and Angle's been doing a great job just kind of holding off the Caitlyn chip onto the turret. So Maryville seem to have stabilized themselves a little bit, and now I'm looking to see how they can start swinging things in their favor, and I'm looking for a Mazo for that. We've not really seen the Vi ganks come through. Wakao's been doing a great job with the early lane pressure that his team gave him, staying ahead and being the more proactive jungler this game, which fits his profile and has been working for Wakao to a T.
Whoa! Don't shut down a Mazo like that. That's 75% kill participation in there. I think they've done okay. No.
It came
Granted,
from one fight though. It came all from one skirmish.
All right, that's true as well. Mazo's still chasing for an extra as well, and with the flash up, you know you can get in range. So I do agree, chasing that ability to come through and really make magic happen. For what it's worth, though, we are getting the Chemtech Soul on the ground, which means this is going to be a little bit questionable. A lot of these fights will be a lot of fun to watch, and, you know, if the Dragons do become a huge priority, it could be another difference. Right now, oh, the sweep. Such a good call. Zyko was like, dude, I feel this in my bones. I've died 3 times already. I ain't going to die a 4th.
Basically, if you don't see Wakao on the map and you're alone, you kind of expect that you're going to be hunted. Zyko's fine. He's under turret that time. And Wakao doesn't really want to dive this. It's a little bit risky. Amazo going in aggressively, and the arrow just misses. TP coming top.
If that arrow had landed, and that's going to be a comment as well. This is danger. TP on the top side. And the shove. That is going to be the Emperor's Divide, but it might have done them worse. Wakao says, okay, you want to fight? Let's fight. Abyss Watcher on the back end, forcing everyone to run away. Mobility has to flash. And look at the danger. Wakao was forced into that jungle fight, took the dub, but the support dies on the other. Honestly, in a 45, Winthrop keeping it even.
Yeah, and really well played from them. Maryville got an amazing flank, and a lot of that's coming from that initial chip damage. The fact that Zyko couldn't really get into the fight because he got chunked out so early. And once again, Winthrop able to extend through that bot lane duel on the top side this time. They're able to pick up the Herald, and that hopefully will keep the demolition crew rolling, Orbital. That's an extension on that permit.
Only for another few minutes, though, and we'll see how much they can take with the Rifthold in pocket. A single fight going the way of Winthrop will allow them to branch into, say, 2 to 3 extra towers. Dragon will be up in, I believe, a couple minutes, and from there, it's another big question. Another laser as Chukis realizes maybe they got a little bit over-aggressive. It looks like that single chance on Zyko ended with their own death.
I feel like Zyko needs to pick up some sort of health item or match business item at this point. Like that health bar, Orbital, is creeping shorter and shorter. The last time it happened in the top lane, had like 33%, 1/3 of the health bar. This time, it's like less than 20%. I'm worried the next AP item that comes in, Zyko's just going to get one comboed.
You know who won't get one comboed? Denethor. Denethor's chilling. I do agree, though. Maybe we get to see Zyko roll out with like a little extra HP. Just please get some HP in there. Is going for that lethality pickup, though. So, I mean, it makes sense. You're not really going to be forcing into that. For right now, though, we'll see if Chukis is allowed to spell reel that combo or if they're going to pay the price, because that is now the second time I think Chukis has tried to spell reel a entire kit on Zyko, and Zyko has been able to sustain, and it ends with Chuki's death. So if that happens again, maybe that's a window for Maryville to work through. Dragon is coming up in just 55 seconds, so teams are adjusting accordingly. Amazo, though, in 50 seconds, you don't want to be chunked out like that.
Yeah, and if you're Amazo, you're just waiting for ult to come back up, really. That's what you're mostly looking for. Paranoia being used.
Oh, I don't think you like that
laser.
one. That is going to be diving into the tower as the Pop Blossom works. The tower dive is crucial as they lock down 2.
Can I just say how beautiful that combination was from Winthrop? Because he had Herald, because he had pressure. They knew that if you walk in there, you're going to be pinned up against the wall. And Herald gets another charge. The push continues from Winthrop, and Zyko might have overextended.
Oh no, Zyko making sure not to go through the gate, but you're still going to eat the damage. But it seems Winthrop, they identified the losing factor, which were those mistakes. And as you said, the difference in game plan is real. Abyss Watcher now getting caught out on their own edge. World Ender, your world is ended. Get back, and it's gone. Get back. In a desperate play, tried. You can't get away. Like, the Emperor is going to go down. Your kingdom is gone. You are crushed.
Oh, bro, you were just talking earlier about the fact, hey, if Winthrop can get, one more team fight, they can very, very quickly snowball it. Yeah, they are absolutely snowballing it. 2 turrets, what was that? 3 kills total and soul point on this Chemtech. It's all going Winthrop's way. And you love to see it. The complete difference from game 1 where they lost the early game, they are now dominating the early game. And much like Maryville, it feels like Winthrop, this is why they're the biggest rivals to Maryville. When they're winning, they too know how to close out games.
And I give credit to what you were talking about, right? Mobility and Chukis have done a lot of the legwork here. We can see the poke at Chukis and Mobility are having so much fun. Zyko, this Ashe, I almost want to say the Ashe flex that they were trying to hold is not panning out. And I mean, where do you go from here if you are Maryville? Because it feels like, hey, maybe you got some time, maybe get back and come back in, maybe Abyss Watcher can do the same. But those opportunities are quickly closing down, and I mean, the doors aren't going to be there forever.
And I still think it goes back to what we said about Maryville's composition. You're still looking for picks with this, whether it be an Ashe Arrow, whether it be a Mazo finding somebody with that Vi ultimate, whether it be a Shurima shuffle from Get Back. You need to find Winthrop isolated, and you need to be on the front foot. It just hasn't happened. It's been Winthrop taking control ever since the early game. It's always been Wakao using the Paranoia first, pretty much. And I think the only time we've seen Amazo really kick things off was on that pick onto Chukis. And if you're using it on Chukis and not able to follow with the team fight, it's not worth it.
I mean, that was predicted by Chukis as well. We expected that to happen, right? We were watching Angle just sit in the middle of the lane. We were like, we know what's gonna happen here.
That's illegal, unfortunately for Ezreal. And Ezreal is probably one of the most mobile players or mobile champions on the side of Maryville. You don't get to just step out on your own anymore. You always need a bodyguard. And by bodyguard, I don't mean Zyko.
Zyko is the... I don't even know what to call Zyko now.
Or the bait, it's like, I don't need to be the fastest person on this map. I don't need to be the most mobile person on this map. I just need to outrun Zyko right now.
That's so mean, but true. It feels so bad to say that, but it's real. Zyko now watching as our ADC starting to match their death count 0-2-1 on this Ezreal. And with Baron up, you can see the pings going down here. Winthrop are wondering, do they actually go for this, right? You have the ability to do so. You do have a pretty lengthy lead. About 6K is around what we saw Maryville have before they started pushing. And now it's going to be a chance, a little bit of a dash out. You draw the flash, but it's still a chase forward. A flash over the Emperor's Divide. And I don't think Get Back gets out. What a fight. What Cal predicts it perfectly.
That's that little step backwards to minimize the time that you get knocked up and stunned into catch and Get Back. Absolutely beautiful. And Winthrop, Baron is a little bit hard for them because they don't have a true tank. So they're going to take a lot of damage doing it. They have a lot of damage, can do it fast. Getting that pick sets them up to do this. And now Maryville can't really contest.
Oh
Sword
my
getting the pick on that
gosh.
back end is just icing on the cake.
I really don't think Amazo actually wants to stay here. You're looking to try and chance, and that's going to be a little bit of an assault and battery, but it's not going to work. The long range from a map away sends Amazo down.
And again, the fact that Sword's able to kind of sidestep, dodge a lot of the damage angle, wasn't able to pump out all the Qs that he needed to find the kills. Winthrop is just running away with this now with Baron, with the Demolition Crew, with the poke and the siege that they can put down. Maryville are no longer playing League of Legends. They have to play dodgeball under a turret.
I mean, you're praying that you got a giant dodgeball in your own back pocket, but that's Abyss Watcher, who does have TP and Flash, and who has been farming up a decent amount, but it's raw damage. So this feels like a chance. This feels like an opportunity. Arrow goes out long ways, does hit. For the binding, slows them down. Chukies keeps their ADC alive, only for a little bit longer, though, as that's going to be a slap forward. Look at the punch, though. That is a stopwatch to slow them down. The TP behind will secure the death of Abyss Watcher. It's how many more are they going to lose? Denethor says, hey, we got that kill. Who else are we going to find? Honestly, it was a chance. It was a desperate play with the arrow, but Winthrop are able to hold steady and take 2 on the back end instead.
Mobility. Okay, no, that was... I'm getting baited a lot by Sword siding as somebody else. Like, wait, Mobility's dead. How did you take a chunk of damage there? They're just going to keep on pushing. And we already said the siege capabilities are strong. Sure, you killed the Caitlyn, but Lux's catches are the bigger issue. Another one lands.
Why is it the supports that feel like they have so much impact right now? First, it was Zyko on the Renata Glass. Now it's Chukies with these bindings, with these annoyances in the face of Maryville. Down goes the inhibitor, and Amazo is on the run. Get back with the TP, is hoping to make a flank option. Denethor is still in mini arm. Maybe they can make it work. TP behind as Abyss Watcher is coming in. This is the opportunity. Sword jumps in, does catch Zyko, but it's only Zyko. Remember, they're now just a glorified minion, and that's going to be the catch. That's 1, but they pay the price. Down goes Get Back. What Cow and Chuki's on the wrong side of the night. Abyss Watcher is going to help, but in goes the Paranoia. Shuts them down, and now it's Maryville on the run. Yes, you clean up Chuki's, and in goes the Shoe Shot Barrage, but it's dodged out. Abyss Watcher is going to get ace in the hold from downtown. You survived thanks to a little bit of HP draw, but now it's no longer. Angle flashes away with the arcane shift. You do survive, but man, that was a force and a half, and nothing else beside it. Maryville cannot contain as Winthrop get away with absolute robbery.
I can't believe that. For all of that action, Orbital, Winthrop didn't get too much more after the initial push, the inhibitor, but they stifled that beautiful TP play from MU. Maryville was looking to collapse in, but Winthrop, their mechanics this game have been on point. They just sidestep all of it, dodge all of the skill shots, being thrown out, and I'm left once again scratching my head, Orbital, with how are Maryville supposed to find this engage? The point and click of Amazo, where is this Vi?
Following behind the missed arrows of Zyko, which have unfortunately missed about 3 to 4 times in these fights. It feels so bad, but it's true, as the True Shot Barrage signals that it is doomed from all over. The soul roars as Winthrop carry the Chemtech soul forward.
I saw a cow just stepping out. I was like, he's just gonna out here, no? Like, it doesn't matter that Angle and Zyko are there. He just dives them. He can probably 2-shot them, 2-tap them. They're just gonna group up instead and kind of brute force the siege. They don't even need to go with a 1-4 or anything like that. For all that Abyss Watcher has been struggling, he is still really strong and probably able to match. Oh, cow.
I mean, that's a laser and a half. That is going to be sort as well inside of the minion form. And as you said, the brute force, where's this fight? Get Back still shown in the inhibitor area. You can't even get close. Denethor running frontside tank. And remember, there is no true tank on the side of Winthrop. Denethor is trying to play that role. They're taking a little bit low, but they're going to wait it out. Remember, with this soul, they get so many extra pieces of MR and armor. They get very nice resistances. When they're below 50%, tower goes up, and that's going to be the minion. It works so well. Sword with the sneaky beaky fight slaughters them inside of their own base. Denethor says no thank you, and it's going to be a 3-for-1 angle. Going to try and get sniped out. Mobility sets them a little bit too far, though. It looks like Abyss Watcher is going to try and run interference. Winthrop, though, they have the gold lead. They have more than enough. Denethor will not get slammed down, and it'll be Chukies to take the kill. Inhibitor will finally fall as Angle is the lone defender, but in goes the Paranoia. It's an ace for Winthrop, and ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching, we have a series on our hands.
Oh boy, Winthrop fans rejoice, and what a game too as well, Orbital. The bounce back is strong, and this sets us up not just for a series, but a great one as we see both these teams. They're punching back hard. Game 3, we saw how Winthrop adapted to their loss. Now Maryville have to adapt to their loss as well, and it really does feel right now that blue side's just looking really strong. Orbital, it feels like those early first picks, that J4, maybe that's the big difference maker here.
I don't know, but I still don't think we're going to see J4 anytime soon. Like, we saw game one, it was banned out almost immediately, and I have to congratulate them. We'll give them a little bit of time, as I'm sure Maryville are a little bit reeling, but Winthrop pumping the air right now, feeling great about what just happened. We'll see if they can make it happen in game 3 as well. Please don't go anywhere. NECC will continue in just a bit.
I could look at you for a day. Time was well spent, that's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you. Not in the fast lane, I understand that you've been broken too many times, but I'll be waiting to mend your wounds from all you've taken. But if we listen to each other, admit our mistakes, then I can show you who I am, because I'm not the same. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. I'm better with you. Catch me when I fall. You know I'll keep you off the ground. That's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you.
The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change, but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall miracle. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. Each time of year carries memories, like a never fading whisper in the breeze. Oh, we will keep on changing all over again. Yeah, we will keep on changing, just like another season. Don't want another day without you by my side. Oh, this season. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Just like another season.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same? I hope you're not planning to waste my time. To my surprise, that was her reply. Now we vibe. It's been a while and such a ride, the stars align. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She my do or die, my bona fide. My up when I'm down, she's always beside me. She makes me feel alive, I won't deny. Her love for me is real and kinda suicide-y. She's not the same, she's such a rare type. She's far from plain, at least in my eyes. She said if I cross her, I'll be in the grave or under her type, but yeah, that's still my babe. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. I love the fact I didn't let her go. She loves the fact that I just let her know. Now we're together, it's a different mode. We getting crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role. She loves the fact that I just let her know. We getting crazy in a different role. crazy in a different role. We getting crazy in a different role.
Right back into it. Teams are ready, but I'm not sure how ready they can be after that game number 2. Everything felt like it went out the window from game 1. We saw massive differences in the draft, and it seemed to work. Winthrop on that blue side seemed to know what needed to be done.
Yeah, and I love that Winthrop identified kind of what went wrong for their composition in game 1. They really focused down the early game, that Callista especially being taken out, and the Oriana as well. And then from there, they just kept with that sort of same strong early game plan, that Caitlyn bot lane. And going into game 3 Orbital, I'm looking at Maryville, and I'm looking at the bot lane specifically. If you're struggling with that, they survived the Kate Morg, they failed the Kate Lux. Do you just want to ban that Lux, or maybe the Caitlyn, though I do feel like Chuki's Lux was the bigger problem there. Do you just want to ban that Lux, or do you want to do what Winthrop did and throw the whole game plan out the window, just ban everything that gave you problem in game 2?
Well, I mean, you have that option because you're on blue side. Maryville, go ahead and say, no, we're not giving that one back up. Let's go ahead, go to blue. Let's keep ourselves on what I think it seems to be turning out that winning side. Is that right?
Yeah, so far, it's been 2 games where blue side has won. It's been 2 games where early game has just snowballed completely out of control. So yeah, Maryville going to be on that blue side. But if Winthrop gets counter-picking lanes, I am curious to see how that goes out, because we haven't really seen the hard counter-picks come out too much thus far.
It's been a little bit of touch and go. And I have to say, even in these lane matchups, even the Gnar, right? The Gnar that we saw ban in game 1, it wasn't... I would say it had a better time. And granted, you didn't die outright. You got a kill early on, and you were like, okay, it's okay, we can stabilize. It didn't really have that impact. I do gotta agree. These are very select moments that we're seeing take over the game. Maybe not on the top side, even if you get a comfort. It's that bottom lane, and we're starting to see those priorities come out here. So for game number 3, I gotta ask you, RMC, with these changes, with all of these options, do we get to see that game 1 draft again? Or are we gonna see brand new champions across the board? What are you thinking?
I'll be very surprised if we get to see the game 1 sort of draft come back through again. Now, I don't think Winthrop's draft was bad by any means in game 1. I just don't think they will necessarily want to fall back to that. And certainly I don't think Maryville is going to get their draft either. If we're going to see Caitlyn come out from Winthrop, I think they're going to continue focusing out that Callista that Angle played so incredibly well in game 1.
All right, well, there you go. Keep that Callista away. Keep them safe or off the table one way or another. Winthrop have an angle in. Now, of course, you do get the counter picks like we were talking about, those options of kind of taking control of the lanes. And for Maryville's side, we maybe want to see a bit more aggression because we saw Trickster with Cal on this Nocturne have such a great time, and Amazo was almost nowhere to be seen. So if we're talking about a little bit of a different pickup, if we're talking about a little bit of a shift, I think we got to look at Amazo now to match pace, right?
Yeah, and I was actually really surprised because you heard me talking like, oh, Nocturne wants to hit that level 6 first, but just didn't, really happen, right? And pardon me, the Nocturne wants to focus on farming to level 6, but it didn't really happen. He was actually invading along with his lanes and got that advantage to that level 6. So now into draft, Maryville on the blue side right now, and they're taking out the Nico that Sword piloted so well, which is funny because I think Get Back used it really well game 1 as well. You are blue side, so what's the prio here now that J4 and Nico are both off the table?
Oriana, or ban that one away. I don't know if you'd actually want to ban Oriana. It's an option, but okay, so that is what we were wondering right there. So that is the big change up here because the Varus was actually the ADC of choice to ban away. The Caitlyn ban, now we're hoping, at least if you're a Maryville fan, that it is a shadow ban against the Morgana and that Lux. Now, of course, if you want to match it up, there is some flexibility on the other side. Still, though, Chukis will not get that priority. There's the Oriana that we were talking about. You saw where the draft was going in terms for the side of Maryville, what they were aiming for. This now leaves open a very choice decision, though. This is going to shake up a lot of what that draft has to offer. See there, the Xayah banned away, Ashe is still up, the Ezreal's still up. We do see a couple others. I mean, this is getting to be very, very interesting.
As you mentioned, the Varus, the Rakan is still up as well. Orbital, both of those champions, I think, kind of first pick worthy, especially with J4 off the board. Interesting enough, the Callista ban still comes through, so Rel is on the table for Maryville, and the Callista takeaway. So it's not just the Caitlyn matchup they wanted to avoid. They just don't want Scary Jerry to get that sort of early lane lead where they can take over. Sure enough, it was either Ricardo
Yeah.
or Varus to me, and Varus gets locked in for Scary Jerry.
This is the one that's been chased throughout games 1 and 2. Now, of course, as you were saying, we just got a match, and Winthrop realized this is the other power that was left open. And this is the thing about League of Legends. It's crazy, right? There's so many different picks, so many different options, but the meta kind of has that rigidity at the top. You can only ban away so many before things go south. However, the answer is really what matters. And we get to see a Lucian come out here. I mean, are we really going to see the Lucian Nami? I don't know, because I haven't seen the Nami in forever. The Lee Sin, though, for Wakao, banned away in game number 2. Let's bring it out that game 3.
I'm more excited for the second pick there. Orbital. Trickster getting his hands on Lee Sin. We talked about him being an aggressive jungler. We got to see that on Nocturne. And if he can do that on a champion that needed level 6, imagine what he can do on a champion that wants to duel, that wants to scrap right from the get-go. And already this bot side's looking really, really scary. Varus is strong, don't get me wrong. Poke Varus, really good right now, as is Tank Buster Varus. But neither of them are going to be able to handle that Lucian right from the get-go in lane. Those early levels are all Lucian favored.
Oof, it's so good. And I mean, taking a look, we got Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee coming out. This is something that we'll talk about in a little bit. But the Renata Glass to finish things off. This is a champion that was well played in game number 1. And I had leaned a little bit towards that bottom lane with the Ahri, by the way, the chase following behind Trickster. That's going to be so good for the pick comp of Winthrop. I do want to point out that I have to give a lot of credit over to Zyko. Zyko in game number 2, hard punished the entire time on this Ashe. Game 1 looked like one of the stars on the Renata Glass. So maybe hoping to get a little bit of glory back from game number 1 and bring it to game number 3. Heavy focus on the mid lane though, because you got that R, you go ahead and ban away the Azir, and then the follow through from Maryville say, hey, the Renata Glass, you're not going to get countered.
Yeah, the sort of mid lane focus from Winthrop here, continuing to try and lock down, get back. I already feel like Ahri is a very, very safe pick. But the problem is with that Vi already locked in as well, Ahri can be ganked, can be brute force CC'd, and if you've got enough burst in the mid lane, you can still take her down. Maryville on the other side with the melee, I was going to say, yeah, you got to watch out for tanks, because with the changes to Lucian a while back, he benefits a lot from CC lockdown from the tankier members. And when you're playing something like Renata, Varus as a bot lane, they're both very squishy. Like, you could still pick something like a Blitzcrank here, not the best synergy with Lucian necessarily, but great kill threat. No, they're going with the tried and true Lucian Nami. Not as strong as it used to be, but still really, really good. And more importantly, great disengage to reset if fights go wrong.
Not just that, getting that early tempo, getting that early, forceful presence over the likes of Scary Jerry and Zyko will be very, very fun to watch. Now, we get to see that counter come out. What's going to go against the Ahri? Because we have to play the roulette, there is no regular champion from game 1 and 2. It's going to be the Lissandra. Okay, so this is not as impactful as what we could have had, but again, when you have the impact characters already banned away, the Orianna, the Azir, and the Syndra, you might not have the damage, but the CC will absolutely be there.
Brother, I'm terrified by this Lissandra pick. I absolutely adore this Lissandra pick because it's really good into this Ahri. It's really good setup, and it's great into the entire composition. Winthrop's comp is such a short-range composition. Not only is Ahri fairly short-range and you can lock her down, but so is Lucian. Winthrop's answer. Okay. Winthrop, this is a full send comp, and I love it. They are just going hard into the enemy team, and they need to get a lead. If they get a lead overall, they will snowball incredibly quickly. But if they don't, I'm a little bit worried. Maryville's scaling is stronger. Their CC and ability to lock down and stop what Winthrop wants to do later on in the game is also going to be stronger. So it really is going to put to test our hypothesis right now that early game wins game. Either that or blue side wins. Something breaks in the series right now.
It's one or the other, right? Or we just get nothing as we're on the board here. And we didn't even get to talk about it. Abyss Watcher on that Jax. It's still keeping with that tried and true kind of bruiser mentality on the top side. But Denethor now shifting hard focus into that Malphite. It feels like it's already a conceding factor. You're saying, okay, yes, maybe we can get kills if I get Wakao up here. But you are considering the fact that mid to late game, Abyss Watcher is going to run you out of town.
Sure. You're definitely not picking the Malphite for that 1v1 later to stop the split push from Jax. What you're picking it for is the ability to shut down angle ASAP. And so you're likely thinking this is going to be that tank busting Varus build where on hit and he just shreds everybody he auto attacks. If you can take out the Varus right from the get-go, the fight becomes a lot easier. And I think that's the thinking behind putting Denethor on this Malphite. The laning phase as well is not terrible for Malphite into Jax. And you yourself said it, Orbital. It's great setup for Wakao. So if you can get that Lee Sin snowballing really early, shut down that Jax, it really isn't about that top lane 1v1 whatsoever. It's a lot more about what Wakao can take that lead and do everywhere else on the map.
I would just like to point out, Abyss Watcher got 2 gold, already a dub. No worries, already got that free low, if you will. 2 gold, OP in the bot side. We're seeing the dance, and this is another part. In games 1 and 2, we have seen the bot lane explode in furious fights. I think in game 2, we saw the pots lose out, I think immediately, right between the 2 ADCs, so expecting you more so, right? Angle stepping up and realizing that I don't think you actually win that one. Lost down, and short range on the volley of arrows. Feels bad, man, feels bad. Angle, though, this is going to continue at level 2. Spice will abound. Oh my gosh, not even bot side, even mid lane. Why aren't they fighting so hard? Everyone just wants a piece of each other right now. This is ridiculous.
Okay, I'm less worried about mid lane. Mid lane, that's just, shaking hands, trading a little bit, saying hi. I'm much more still worried about these side lanes. And this bot lane, Mobility, Chukis, Angle, Zyko, they were fighting for level 2. Angle and Zyko, with a bit more AoE in their kit, were actually able to win out that trade. So they get that first push and they get that poke. Mobility Chukis really wanted to be able to hit level 2 and all in and try and force that fight. If not, that extended trading from Varus gives them that little bit of an edge if we're not seeing these all-ins, these hard trades coming through.
And while we have the time, I do want to ask, what do you think about the on-hit Varus in this situation, especially with the amount of all-in bursts that you can have from Winthrop? Do you actually think this is the right call, or is this just standard now? What do you think about that one?
I kind of think it doesn't really matter what build Angle goes in terms of team fighting later on. Whether you're poke or whether you're on hit, the sheer amount of damage Winthrop has means he's probably going to die. So a lot of it more is which one's more useful. The poke probably would be able to do more damage prior to that, but when you're facing down, staring down a Lee Sin in Malphite, you probably don't have that time to poke. Zyko roam into the mid lane.
Oh, that's going to be a flash sword in the ignite to follow. As Zyko says, we're not dealing with that one. Honestly, Sword played that about as well as you could have, but it's still a first blood in the mid lane.
I was caught off guard. I was not expecting our supports to be roaming this early on, especially Enchanter supports, but great movement onto Zyko. It catches Sword off guard as well, and Sword will have to TP back in lane. Won't miss too much, but that first blood going over to Zyko is going to be interesting. If it went over to Get Back, that's a really rough lane. But onto Zyko, it's what does bot lane do with it?
I mean, Zyko just lost both Summoner spells, and Mobility and Chukis are like, yes, we want to punish. However, it's a recall from Wakao, but if they catch out, ooh, Wakao holding steady into Maz. I was like, really? We just lost that one. A little bit of a DC, but of course, that's only going to be tempered. We are fine. You can see Mobility still dancing their way to a massive CS wave built up here.
I like to think that they were counting how many seconds Wakao was actually in that push because they had vision of the Lee Sin roam down. There was a great ward dropped by Zyko from the return from the mid lane. Now, in the mid lane, speaking of, Amazo revisiting that lane, knowing that Sword doesn't have flash and isn't 6 yet.
I mean, yeah, this is another catch. However, Wakao is ready to join in, and this is what I was worried about here. A couple auto attacks in the finisher as Amazo tries to fight inside the wave, but I don't know if it's going to work. Wakao flashes away, and it's a dub. One more auto attack will take it. Sword with one in pocket, Wakao with one in pocket, and Winthrop win the mid lane.
It's just so hard to trade against the Lee Sin orbital. That's why he's one of the strongest early junglers. Duelist and Sword and Wakao play that beautifully to AT top side. They are getting down to the margins. Flash available for both, but bot side finds the kill into Zyko.
Hey, Abyss Watcher is able to get one, but it's still death on the other side of the map, and you called it, RMC. The differences are there. And Wakao still wants a little bit of fun, dives over the wall, takes the tower shot, but you're more than okay to take it. That's a counter strike, and one more will take it. Abyss Watcher, thankfully, is able to collect 2. I think Sword just needs an auto attack to finish, and you do get Retribution. So overall, a win to Winthrop, but it's building up exactly like games 1 and 2. Again, Maryville, Abyss Watcher gets a lead, but the rest of the lane's kind of faltering a tiny bit.
Okay, so much like last game, we are seeing Winthrop be very proactive and winning out. But much like game 1, Maryville was able to punish a little bit. Sure, you killed Abyss Watcher, but it took you 2.5 members. Sword missing out CS in this lane to roam up. And sure, you see Denethor there now, but Denethor only caught the tail end of the CS. So despite the fact that Winthrop is up the kill, Maryville are going to be very happy with where they are. They're the ones looking to scale up and survive this early game onslaught that Winthrop drafted.
We need to keep watch now because with this identification that Winthrop are going to be playing early, going to be playing aggressive, we have to keep track of those junglers, right? Wakao has actually had massive impact so far, 1-1 and 2. Dragon is still up, but it's really not in their favor. So, or it's not fully in their control, so they might not look. But the lane gank is where it's at. Wakao now rotating down inside the bush is not spotted. And they're trying to bait out. Mobility is not going to get snagged. Massive wave built up, but Mazo's going to join in too. Mid laners can't roam down, but the TPs are not favorable. So this is going to be spicy. Zyko in a dangerous spot, realizes they're in trouble and has no way out. It's just death. Easy does it for Winthrop.
Stepped up just a little bit too far, and Mobility and Chukis continue this abuse of Psycho that we've seen started last game in this series. And with that, that's all the security that Winthrop need to go for this dragon, which is good for them because, again, they had the early game composition. They want to snowball this, and they wanted to pick that dragon up pre-8 so that Wakao can rotate to Herald when it spawns at 8 and look for that one, because that one's a lot harder to take with Abyss Watcher having Prio in that top lane.
Very nicely done. Their plan working to an exceptional degree. Let's get back eats the chunk here. And Sword having that blue buff, it's a pure hatred of anyone that plays mid. You don't want to see your laner come back with it. However, it is going to hold into a tentative soft pattern. You can see their get back sitting at 64 CS. We're trying to build up. It doesn't have too much in the back pocket. Out goes the Culling Mobility, almost dashing in to get the final shots, and they do. Cleanse comes out, and I mean, Wakao, this is perfect setup. There is no way you do not get at least one. Sword coming over the wall to help out. This is the angle that they want. A kick will help them out, and I mean, it's all said and done. GG on the bot lane. 2 dead for no deaths.
Incredibly well executed, and this jungle mid duo of Wakao and Sword right now is becoming absolutely lethal. The fact that they're snowballing down to Mobility is exactly the game plan. Get these leads because you need them. On that top side of the map, let's not forget Abyss Watcher continues to dominate, and it's getting a little bit scary. I love the fact that Wakao opted for the bot side because I'm not confident he gets that Herald on the top side. And Denethor has been left to dry because it's not just that 1v1 matchup now where you're a tank into a split pusher, but Abyss Watcher also got the 2 kills earlier, and Denethor didn't even get an assist. So Winthrop need to dominate bot side in order to kind of balance that top side.
And expect to see even more of that roaming power. With TPs coming up here shortly, MU will have a chance to rebuttal. But that is also if Angle and Zyko are able to stay alive for a little bit longer, right? This dive could happen at any point. So got to keep eyes. The next one will be Get Back, I think, is the closest. So really close. Junk, who does, by the way, have a little bit of an item, lost chapter in that pocket, so it feels good. But again, all these buts, all these question marks. I have so many questions here. I'm scared for what happens next. Okay, I'm very scared for what happens next. I'm just watching the TPs, watching MU try and set their things up.
My only question is help Denethor win, man. You guys put him in a hole. You gotta help dig him out. Now Wakao is up top, looking a little bit. They're trying to bait Abyss Watcher out, and with the Unstoppable Force, there's a great turnaround potential from Denethor. But Abyss Watcher, his instincts are on point. The same way he kind of sensed the first gank and the repeat gank to the top lane, he just knows not to push out right now, and is actually just going to go base even with that wave pushing into him.
I think that's the right call. But it does give advantage over to Winthrop. Now that you have the TP advantage, Denethor is allowed to roam out. Remember, TPs now unlock at 10 minutes. You now have that free range, and that can now be followed. We were talking about how dangerous this bot side is. Well, it's even worse so. Denethor is just going to be chilling there going, hey, I can TP in Unstoppable Force on top of your head, and you are pretty much dead. There is not going to be that opportunity. Sword also unleashed after that wave is crashing, and guess where you're looking? You know exactly where you want to go, and Mazo smells it. You can see him down there. It's going to be a 3v4. Topside Abyss Watcher just trying to keep him away. That's going to be a ward over the wall. Mazo realizing they're in a bit of trouble. Get back. Going to be the only one to really help out. Q does not land. So a little bit of thwarting by MU. They force away Winthrop and say, you can't dive this unless you're willing to take the risk.
And that was super critical because there's a very deep blue ward behind Winthrop in that bot lane. And so Get Back had a great TP angle if they actually wanted to kind of collapse in and force onto Winthrop. So I'm really not sure who got away the better by not performing that dive in the bottom, because Winthrop would have gone kills, but I don't know if they've gone out alive and how badly the damage would have been. And that's kind of how close this game is, despite the fact that Winthrop has been dominating with a lot of these early ganks, and Wakao specifically, I mean, 6 kills effectively participated in. MU are not that far behind, and if they can stifle a lot of this aggression, they will come out ahead, and they have the tools for it, right? The fact that now Varus is 6, he's got his ultimate in addition to that hostile takeover, and Get Back's Glacial Tomb, or Frozen Tomb as well, pardon me, is going to be massive for locking down a lot of these dives, which Winthrop was feasting on in the early game.
I think it falls back to that game 1, game 2 difference, right? MU, the reason that they won game 1 was not because of pure proactivity. It was that they were able to fight back against a lot of Winthrop, what Winthrop was throwing down. They got advantages off of small mistakes. And the small mistakes came from slightly botched fights. That bot lane twice. It was Wakao to try and join there. It did not pan out this time around. You are able to deny 1. How many more can you deny? How many more can you ensure do not go off? That is the question that we're going to be watching here. Sword now looking for that charm, does land it, but was more than ready. And now CC's under the tower. This is the power of the Lissandra. Down goes Wakao.
And this is why I loved seeing that Lissandra pick up. It just answers so much of what Winthrop wants to do. Suddenly all those dives that they were executing that we were talking about, that timer is closed, and Winthrop have to be very careful whom they pick to gank and how they pick to gank and make that gank work. So for Winthrop, I think that's the first actually gank that we've seen go sideways for Wakao, where not only did he not get it off, but it actually backfired. It comes just as Dragon spawns as well, Orbital. So Maryville, they have first move, but you can tell that they're not confident that they really want to go for it. Yeah, they can stop turret dives, but in skirmishes, they're probably still not that strong yet.
I mean, I think that's also just a huge respect over to Mobility, right? Mobility's 2-0-1, already has that Essence Reaver in pocket. So, I mean, you can't sit there and think just because Wakao is down that you're fine. You don't have it. And now it's a problem because your own jungler goes down and you lose control of Dragon. And I mean, that's crazy because we were just talking about the dance of, hey, maybe we can contest it with a 4v or 3v3. You don't even get that chance. Amazo was not even close to the pit, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, Amazo didn't get the memo that the bot lane got, which, hey, don't fight this. Essence Reaver, Gore Drinker, they're up items. Looking for a potential dive onto Denethor with Get Back here.
That's going to be a good dash out. Abyss Watcher under the tower. And I'm kind of surprised that they didn't want to full engage, but with no Glacial Tomb, it is it's not going to be the dive. Instead, Abyss Watcher's just like, I'll keep farming up. I'll keep trying to do my own thing.
Yeah, and that's job done. They just wanted to force Denethor back. Denethor played that really, really well, waiting for the aggro to come down on Abyss Watcher.
Do you actually get this? That'd be crazy.
Oh.
Nope. Well, that's going to be a jump in. There's the CC. There's the root. There's a chain. I cut you off, RMC. I'm so sorry because that kill was pretty much televised.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine because they cut Sword off. Sword doesn't get to play the game anymore. That CC chain that we were talking about with the Ahri, it's really, really rough. Wakao has to be a little bit careful. Should be fine, though. The out isn't available for Get Back, and I don't think Amazo wants to full commit onto this one just yet.
Nah, instead, you get the 2 towers, right? This is a win for the side of MU. Instead of kills in your favor and global objectives, we're seeing more of this trade factor, right? Back and forth because of the investment from Winthrop into this bot side and into these ganks. You get a little bit of solid leverage on the Dragon, but you lose out everywhere else. And this is what I was talking about in games 1 and 2. This feels a little bit more even kickoff in the early game.
Just watching everybody slowly marching into this bush one by one. Get Back gets there, Zyko gets there, finally.
Oh no.
Is here. Denethor has flash, but he's got no turret.
The Galaxy Rock is about to fall. I mean, wah wah. Who did they give it to? Who did they give it to? Are they going to give it to Get Back? No, Amazo takes it. Oh, you know what? I'm okay with that one. Give it to the fist.
Not gonna lie, I was actually expecting it to go the way of Get Back, and Winthrop are okay with that. They've been throwing Denethor under the bus. Oh,
no way.
Angle?
Oh my god, the follows behind as Abyss Watcher is able to make it a 1-for-1, but Sword underneath the tower says we're good. A little bit of a force, I would say, from Winthrop's side as that chain of corruption from Angle really forced their hand. But well done by the side of MU. They trade 1-for-1 in mid, 1-for-0 in the top lane, and now they have control, or at least they got the kills back.
And actually, just going to praise Winthrop, saying that, hey, they took a trade they were happy with. Denethor dies, but they get the turn in the bot lane. But that kind of gets reversed by what we see in that mid lane because of that time spent. We did see Get Back actually get to push up top. We get to see the reset from Maryville come through as well to stop any Herald take to come through. So it just kind of bounces back and forth. And these teams, it's reflected in the goal. It's dead even. And the teams are just punching. Every time a team tries to make a play, the moment they screw up, the other team starts taking objectives on the map.
And it's scary. I hate it. I don't like that feeling. It makes you second guess everything, or it makes you gamble very, very heavily. And Wakao inside of the spit, gonna dash over the wall, be okay. But do you continue This Herald, yeah, you're actually going to get back hiding on top of Ward. Remember, that is actually dark, by the way. You don't actually see inside of it if you're Winthrop, so maybe you can bait it out. Keep in mind, Denethor also doesn't have TP, so this is going to be a difficult one. If they want to call in this Watcher on enemy side, it can be done. Get back, dodging away from the bubble, sword coming in from the top side. Herald is down very, very low, and it is taken, but can you actually get it? I don't think you can. You have to run away, and that feels so bad. So net 0 across the board as MU take the Herald, but Winthrop denied the pickup.
I was sweating right there with how close things were getting. And I love the fact that you call it the fact that Herald wasn't picked up either. So Maryville just committed a lot of time for very, very little gold. And so it was a very high risk, medium, or even low risk, or low reward, pardon me, play on that Wakao still in the area, bro. This is not your jungle, Wakao. You don't get to do this.
Wakao is still playing like they're a full item up. And granted, you probably could stay alive long enough, but you're not going to kill him outright, right? Like, it's just like, please don't put yourself in a dangerous scenario. We love you, Wakao. We love you, but we don't want to see you do that.
Yeah, more importantly, he's got not enough damage. Not only in his one kit, but the backup, his team didn't really want to do that. So I think the one who was kind of hovering around with him was Chuki's, the support. So not ideal on that particular play. And in general, right now for Winthrop, this is not the ideal position they wanted to be in. They had such an good aggressive early game. They got the leads, but they weren't able to snowball it. Maryville did a great job stopping that pressure from coming through. And then I'm looking at this Winthrop comp right now going, okay, where do we go from here? Your comp needed a massive lead. And even now, there is still a chance, but they've got to find that squishy backline. They've got to burst people down. And I think it's actually coming to Denethor, the player who Winthrop shafted in the laning phase and is continuing to get the shaft.
Oh man, that's almost Dota 2 levels of CC right there. Not a movement too soon. Zyko though saying, maybe we can find it out. Catches you on the tail end. Gender corruption doesn't land though, so maybe a little bit of fight back, but you lost your primary engage. So Maryville say we have priority over this dragon, and I think honestly they can. However, they don't want to take that chance. Take a look at that. This is a TP or a recall back Abyss Watcher. Gonna try and complete an item for this team fight specifically. Wonder what they're gonna pick up. Yeah, there it is. That is a Sphere Sojin and TP back and around. I don't think Winthrop want to be here. They realize they're in a bit of danger. They're corralled, and they have to give up Dragon. It's only the first one. It's still an Infernal, but it is only one.
Yeah, and Maryville, again, they can afford to play this one slow. They are not in a rush whatsoever. So the fact they don't find the 5v4 fight is fine. They just wanted to take the Dragon and take their time. Wakao still going in here. Doesn't actually have flash this time. So that's a very aggressive move. Which could put him in trouble, but it's fine. He's just zoning, and thankfully Maryville, they themselves were not confident in being able to collapse it on that.
Oh my gosh! Chukis, why would you heal? Why would you give away the location? Bruh, no. Alright, that is the one time that I'm like, don't heal anyone. Don't give away the information that someone's there.
It's okay, Albert. Oh, it was all planned. They had it down to the millisecond. They knew that we can't be able to get out before the ward comes down.
Bro, I got so scared, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw death, and I'm pretty sure Wakao had like a mini heart attack, right? Like, oh my lord. Either way, everyone gets back, everyone is safe, and now we start to see this flood up to the top side. We see the wards start to be dropped, multiple pink wards in the side for Winthrop in the river, and then blue wards MU trying to sit on the spot side. Meanwhile, the tower is going to fall as Abyss just feels free to fire away, but Wakao starting to steal away some of these camps. So this fight over this top side of the map is leading to a possible Baron setup by the teams, even though neither team really has major priority.
Well, for Winthrop, they don't have a choice right now because they committed to this top lane. They kind of really have to make sure that they get full advantage. Because Abyss Watcher, as you said, is split pushing. And even now, even if they send Denethor down, remember how we said that, yeah, you didn't pick this Malphite to deal with the split push? Yeah, we've hit that point. That is a split push, Jax. Denethor can't handle him with this Malphite. So Winthrop have to really play around the wave pressure. They shove out that bot lane, then they go back up to this Baron, and they need to try and force it or find the pick onto Maryville. But Maryville, they just get the pressure down, they come up, they just clear all your wards. And then what you're going to do if you're Winthrop?
This stifling feeling is coming back, RMC. This feeling of just impending doom. MU have gotten over the early game, and Winthrop may be struggling. And this Lucian, right? How much pressure do we see go into the bot side? Winthrop had the early game, but now we got to see it explode, right? We need to see that Lucian really take off. Navari quick plates in pocket does have, I want to say, a half item lead in the mythic route. But we still need to see that chance, and we can see it everyone moving forward now as a 4-man gang squad trying to get vision back. And look at Maryville, they just don't care. So for Winthrop, the amount of investment right now feels worse and worse as you apply so much time here. That Wakao, even hunting with that Q, I have no doubt in my mind Lean Syndrome is going to be on full blast.
And no wonder when you've got the pressure to find a pick to enable that Baron, or else things are going to go south for them. It's worth noting as well, Angle has Scryer's Orb, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing MU not be too worried. Sure, they lost all vision around Baron, but they take their time and they go like, okay, you're not going to be able to take in 10, 15 seconds. So we wait that 15 seconds, we drop Scryers. If you're there, then great, we collapse and kill you. If you're not there, then we're fine, right? Abyss Watcher can continue split pushing on this bot lane and threaten that turret. And you can see with TP's up as well, Abyss Watcher really doesn't need to respond to anything quickly. He doesn't have to walk over. He just takes his time. Denethor has pushed out, and Wakao is kind of in the area, so I think he should be fine. But you can see Abyss Watcher starting to think, hey, can I actually kill this Malphite when he's pushed up beyond the halfway mark?
And once you get the Zanyas in pocket as well, all of a sudden, all that chance of Winthrop trying to fight off that split pusher is gone, right? I still love the fact that we even do have a Zanya's build on Jax. Is one of the funniest things I've seen, but it's so good, right? And it's so frustrating for anyone trying to gank a Jax. Right now, the gank isn't happening on the bot side. Mazo taking a look on this top lane and saying, hey, we're gonna keep clearing out wards, and honestly, I don't have a major problem with it because Dragon is now coming up. With how much investment has went down on the top side, now we're going to see a hard shift of vision down to that bot side, right where Abyss Watcher is at 40 seconds on this Infernal Drake.
Now, think back to that last Drake orbital, because Maryville picked up their first Dragon 4.5 minutes ago when they found a pick onto Winthrop. Dragon is the best chance for Winthrop to be able to win a fight, or just stack up and go for that Soul Drake so that it extends their timer a little bit. We do see the culling being used by Mobility just to push out Maryville, and Maryville kind of said, okay, it's a little bit early, we'll reset, we'll be late to the party, but we will potentially be at the party.
I think that's what the call is. You can see Get Back actually waiting off on the wings, not sure if they really want to show, but Angle actually coming back, about to get soloed out here. Ridiculous play, but the Chain of Corruptions is actually going to be a denial, and Angle lives! Oh, huge mistake. Winthrop realizing that they made a small problem. Now a TP call that can't be stopped. I don't think you want to be here. Abyss Watcher over the edge, gets a double counter strike, and you will live through. Denethor is dead, and I think the rest of Winthrop realized their mistake. Counter strike is up once again. But it does not matter. The damage has been done. Denethor 0-4-0, and Wakao dead as well.
Zyko and Angle once again surviving that turret dive. Zyko dodging everything. Oh, that landed.
I think they're just hunting right now. And there is a TP on Abyss Watcher, so keep eyes. They have a deep ward as well if they wish to flank, but Mobility doesn't really have much. Does have the flash available, I guess.
Already come through.
But look at the dash. Look at this. The TP coming in. You dash away and you get counter-struck. No, the flash to follow. Down goes Shukis, who gets over the wall. Look at the chase. Mobility is going to try and hang on. And it is going to be the save by Wakao. Abyss Watcher, though, with that stopwatch, will keep themselves safe. And it said Sword is in a rut. You are going to run away, but Zyko follows with the auto attack. This dance over the dragon has led to so many deaths on Winthrop that it feels they've actually lost control of this game. Dragon to MU. Winthrop lose out heavy.
And once again, let's not forget, this was started by Winthrop. The series of events, Orbital, because they thought they found Angle, but because Angle and Zyko were able to just barely survive and bait multiple members in, it wasn't just Wakao going down. Denethor got stuck TPing behind enemy lines because of that call, and that's what gets Maryville the Dragon to boot. And now, without the pressure of Dragon, without having to risk Winthrop burning that one down, we go back to the Baron dance, Orbital, where Maryville have had the advantage on that particular play for the last 5 minutes.
I think it's only going to continue, right? Chukis is just trying to clean up this vision pit, but Wakao, remember, Wakao was the main kind of bully pressure to keep everyone away. It's not happening anymore. Wakao is just like a roaming ward. You're just like, all right, this is here. So with this dance, keep in mind there is no TP flank. If you're looking at Abyss Watcher and Get Back, they have to stick with the team if they want that flank option. Winthrop, technically, I think have never had a solid team fight as well. Denethor has not been allowed in. Zyko now having to flash away because of this factor. And Abyss Watcher is now caught. Counter-Strike is still up, so you're getting chunked out. But, I mean, Denethor should see it. Yes, they do. But look at the hostile takeover. It slows everyone down. And Abyss Watcher is still going to be there. Get back allowed to get into the fight now, and they solo out the ADC. MU stall appropriately and are allowed to get out with only losing one. The charm is going to be enough as a split fight on the other side. But Wakao is able to find the solo in the back. The chase on either side is leaving everyone in disgust. And when Cal realizes that they can go in, good Zanyas though to keep him alive. The bait is so real. And Denethor, after the unstoppable force, is nothing more than a mineral to be mined. Abyss Watcher closes it out.
Angle might be down 71 CS Orbital. He might have been bullied in lane, but in this team fight, Angle was able to find the right angle, delayed and did so much damage on the back end, and huge props to get back into this Watcher as well. Even after Amazo went down, the two of them were trading off. You saw how low their health bars were, and they went in fully aware that even if I die, it doesn't matter, because my job is to buy Angle the time he needs to cut through. The tank Buster Varus is coming online.
And I gotta give props to Zyko, right? I called out Zyko earlier from game 1. Game 3 this time, hostile takeover and getting out of range, by the way, of that unstoppable force, barely surviving and just being like, all right, I got this guy. Like, the peel from MU is just too good, and they go right back to Baron because they can.
Yeah, why not, right? Like, they are stronger right now. And for Winthrop, Denethor got the perfect engage. You cannot ask for more from your Malphite, but it feels like it came too little too late. Winthrop needed that sort of engage 5-10 minutes ago, and now they are looking for it again. Denethor does have the unstoppable up, but he's...
and guess what happens again? Down goes the Nami, down goes the Lucian, down goes Winthrop as they are cut to the core. It is not a death for 4, it is not 2 for 3, it is 4 for 0 for Maryville as they will take the Baron.
They don't drop a body Orbital, and the gold says that the game's not that gone. It's only a 4, almost 5k gold difference. It's winnable, but you look at these compositions, Orbital, and things are looking pretty dire for Winthrop. That gold lead about to balloon with Baron in their pocket. Maryville are set to go with Siegen, and Winthrop, they need to find a flank somewhere or other. They are not winning this fight head on.
I also love the fact that we're talking about this extensive lead for Maryville. It's literally all an Abyss Watcher, right? Like, Spyrex is sitting on a 5k lead, and like, we know why, and we understand that that's how the matchup it's expected to go, right? Like, we get that. It still feels freaking bad. Look at that, 3.5 items versus 2.5. Like, bruh.
Oh, man, but the last couple of fights, even without Abyss Watcher, you've seen Maryville be able to kite back, and that's very largely the problem for Winthrop. Winthrop now running for their lives. That is not your Gromp anymore, Waka. We've slowly seen this Lee Sin lose ground in the jungle, and the scary part is, if you can't control your jungle, if you can't get wards down and you can't find flank angles, Winthrop don't have a way of turning it back. Death push. They're trying so hard right now. They've lost control of the jungle, so this is the way they're doing this.
You know, at teams in desperation mode when they do this on their side of the map, right? If it's on the other side, it's fine, but on their own side, it's got, it's spotted, it's no, but maybe it works. Maybe they got it, angles against soloed out, but still, they saved the team. Hostile takeover with literally no one, but the CC, the Tomb, will bring them all down as a Counter-Strike flash brings them to Rune. Chukis will be made into sushi as it's a triple kill for the Abyss Watcher.
Yep, the desperation play indeed. And the thing was, I'm actually not sure if Maryville caught that on the ward that they had, whether they actually saw anybody from Winthrop walk into that bush, because they waited, they baited, and then they dropped the Scryers at the perfect time. And unfortunately for Winthrop, it was a risky endeavor. They knew it from the draft. They had to win or bust, and it went bust.
Oh, Angle even knew the unstoppable force was coming. It's MU to go up 2-1 in this series. Winthrop, they fought valiantly in the early game, but now they're on their back foot.
Winthrop, they were looking for revenge from that upper semifinals, but Maryville, they're not giving it to them. And Maryville, this is Maryville's first season in the NECC. They've dominated the Naystar League before, and they are looking to try and win a second one. And it's looking good, Orbital. I'm looking at Winthrop going, okay, you know, that was a rough game 3, But I think a lot of it is draft related. So on the bright side for Winthrop, there are definitely changes they can make going into game 4 to bounce back. And the mental was strong when they bounced back in game 2. They just got to do it again, Orbital.
And I mean, for Maryville's side, we can say almost the exact same, right? Let's not sit here and say that the early game was anything but smooth, right? This was a moment where it felt like Maryville really just weathered through the storm, but you don't want to go through that weathering again. If you look on Maryville's side, what do they need to do to kind of shore it up? Because honestly, if you win this next game, you don't put yourself in a game 5 position. You go ahead and end it right here. How do you kind of solidify those corners? Because I mean, bot lane, I'm looking there, but even mid lane looked a little bit dicey at points.
To be fair to Maryville, I think a lot of it will have to be very reactive to whatever Winthrop wants to do. And I think what they did this game where they adapted their draft, right? The Lissandra that came out later was in response to seeing the likes of the Lee Sin, the Ahri, a lot of strong divers coming through. Likewise with that Jax. It's not so much because I think the Malphite was the last pick and came out after the Jax, but seeing everything else that Winthrop wanted to do. So I think Maryville just needs to keep that mindset of adaptive drafting, see what Winthrop wants to do, and try and punish that. You know, if they're drafting super early game, pick champions that can survive that and still have scaling prospects.
All right, well, there you go. Questions abound for what game 3 or game 4 will actually be, because we just saw game 3. Everyone, you are tuning in to the best of 5 grand finals here in the NECC Legends Division for League of Legends. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Cigarette ash, it looks like snow. When it falls in the wind, you know. And you say you wanna dance. You're wary, you know, you'll end up in the wrong hands. And you're having fun. Why don't you show your friends? And you're having fun. What if it never ends? I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all. Miss Boozley cigarettes trying to take me home. Falling in love just a million times, breaking it off with the feeling on ice still. She's as cold as December. I swear I've seen you before, holding your shoes in your hands, running out that door. And you are nothing, but you say you wanna dance. And you're worried, you know, you'll end up in the wrong hands. I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all.
sight. I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took 'em all and made 'em yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh. Magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took 'em all and made 'em yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me
now with you, I am able to keep pushing my limits, and all the drive that I have, well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing, and everything that I dread, well, I built a resistance with you. Catch me when I fall.
And into game 4 we go. What could be the finale to what could be also a 5-part series. We are getting into the final throws of game number 4. This is going to be very interesting, at least because I say final throws, but it's really the start, because right now Winthrop are up against the wall. They have now tried a medium early game aggression comp, which did work in game 2, to a nearly full early game comp in game 3, which slightly fell apart past the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, so Maryville up 2-1, and Maryville I feel like hasn't had to do too crazy of anything in draft right now. It's really up to Winthrop, and we saw the adaptation Winthrop made after game 1 to win game 2. They threw the entire draft out the window pretty much. They banned everything that kind of made it so that the air comp didn't work. Now, they can't do that this time, April, because they change up all their bans. Then Maryville just goes back to what happened back in game 1. So Winthrop, the draft has to change, but also the play style and the idea they're shooting for has to change. Given how the series has gone, April, we have word that it is going to be Maryville on the red side. Winthrop have selected blue side, and blue side still has a 100% win rate tonight.
I think that, my brain says I want a game 5. My heart says, probably the same, honestly. I want to see it go all the way the distance. But one thing that I do think needs to change is that top lane, because for as much as we've seen the likes of the rest of Winthrop really get those kicks up, see a lot of that early game aggression and all that, there's been one player that's been kind of not in a good spot, whether because they've had some rough times or Spikes is just too good. Denethor has had a rough series.
It's the birthday boy, man. Free Denethor. Actually, this entire series, they've given him champions that can fight, right? They gave him Nara in game 2, they gave him Renekton in game 1. But he's not been getting the resources he needs, unfortunately. Wakao has rarely gone to that top side, and when he has, it's often not optimal timing. Like, the gank isn't being set up to make it happen, and I don't know if that's a communication issue or whatnot. And Denethor's trying his best in that top lane, and I think against a lot of other top laners, his best would be enough. But in this case, Spyrax has just been so good about abusing the fact that Denethor isn't getting backup from his team.
It's the painful moment because we saw some of the glimmers there. The Malphite was one that, we had some questions about, and granted, he had 1 or 2 good ults, but they were just too late. At that point, the composition just fell too far behind. So at least for Maryville, they're like, hey, we're content with this. Let's keep trying to get these types of matchups. Let's keep giving bruises over to Spyrax, who's looked phenomenal. Now, of course, in that same vein, the other question is, what will a jungle get? Amazo in game 3 was able to step up, albeit later. Let's be honest, the Lee Sin still controlled the early game. So this coming draft, I want to see a little bit of a shakeup. I want to see Amazo have a bit more agency. If you draft the Vi again, we got to see those ganks come out. Let's go ahead and get into it, because I have a lot of freaking questions.
As do I, Orbital. And like I said, most of my questions right now are addressed to Winthrop. They are blue side this game, and the priority back in game 2 when they were on that blue side, I believe, was the Nico that they picked up really early on, and now Maryville on the red side. Do they ban that Nico? Because it was a problem, but it felt like a lot of that issue came more, I think, from the jungle and the Nocturne power that Wakao had even pre-level 6.
It also got very fun when you get to see the minions wandering across. And why does the minion hit so hard? I'm not sure. Looking at that J4, we did say that, hey, throughout the series, we get it for 1 game and 1 game only. And has now been banned outright in the last 3, 2, including this one, making it 3. Callista as well, game number 1. Hey, you got too much agency with it. Now the Nico ban on the flip side. These are priority picks that the teams have not wanted to let through. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Orianna ban come out of MU's side if we do see Winthrop go ahead and deny another factor. So Renata Glass, I like this ban. I like this adjustment.
Yes, Orbital, because you like that man and you like Zyko specifically. You sung his praises game 1 and game 3, and that Renata was when he looked absolutely on point. So I respect the fact that Winthrop saying, yeah, sure, it might not be that champion specifically messing us up compositionally, but Zyko's the Renata's just too scary. And Zyko going, if I can't get my Renata, you're not getting Lux either. We're not dealing with Caitlyn Lux again.
Denial. And with this, we have actually the largest opening of ADC pool that we had the entire series, as I would like to say. There are so many on the table. Only the Kalista was banned away. So the Varus will come back out. Mobility not granted a mobile champion, but a great denial tool. We saw it in the previous game. It was the likes of Scary Jerry just running ham on it. It was ridiculous the number of times that you denied deaths. Now, what do you pair with it and what do you get? You go for this Ashe. All right.
Okay.
I'll come out and say this. This better go to Scary Jerry. I don't want to see Zyko. I don't want to see my man punished again.
Hold. Because I have trust in Zyko's Ashe. I've seen him play it before to great effect. I think the Lux was the issue the last time with all those bindings. So fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. They haven't confirmed it yet. The Orianna, however, came up. That was the ban that Winthrop had to sacrifice to get Renata off the table. And Orianna has so many pairings she can go with. I actually would like her a lot with the Ashe as well, just because Enchanted Crystal Arrow gives you a very safe, non-committal engage.
Well, you know what is very committal? It's very, very committal. There is a one-way ticket in. It's what Cow to take away the Vi. Giving respect to Amazo saying, hey, you took this one and had great pleasure in running it into that game number 3. And now we get to see the Syndra. We talked about Sword getting a little bit more agency. Last time it was the RA did have good effect in the beginning, but this time you have a little bit of late game firepower in your pocket as well, which, again, the Syndra was banned out multiple times before. Okay. All right, we're seeing some changes here. You know what? I did say I want to see Maryville continue to be adaptive in their draft, and they have indeed done so. Winthrop has bought insurance, and Maryville said, we're just going to hit you before that insurance comes to maturity. Support ban coming through the Nautilus. So if you're going to target that way, you're kind of removing the engage hook champions from this bot lane to try and make sure the Ashe Caitlyn gets a bit of a safer time to be able to continue laying down that poke. I mean, yeah, go ahead, take a look. The Rakan also banned away. I think this is appropriate. But the jungle funnel here, this is, I believe, the first time we also might see a full jungle ban out. Amazo, as we said, on that Vi had some success in that game 3. Maybe not the, I want to say, super impact that we had before. But that is the Rumble ban. Again, can't give the likes of Abyss Watcher there. However, the problem still comes about that, listen, Abyss Watcher has been so good. Like, Sparx has been so good throughout this entire series without the Rumble. I'm still looking at the Aatrox, right? You better have an answer for the Aatrox or even that Jax.
Yeah. And for MU right now, probably going to pick their jungle here. You still have great ball carriers, things like Sejuani if you want.
Oh.
Okay. Bel'Veth was something that leading up to Worlds, we saw a lot of hype about this Bel'Veth jungle. But we actually haven't seen her that much in the NECC, and she did get nerfed a little bit, so she's not as strong as she used to be in the early game, but still a potent ganker, and she still scales great. Winthrop, on the other hand, looking for a support and looking for a top laner. I wouldn't hate to see them pick up a Karma right now to answer this Caitlyn Ashe in this bot lane. Varus can poke very hard as well. Or that. I kind of asked for that, I think, last game, or game 2, into the Caitlyn Lux bot lane. But it will still work very effectively into Caitlyn Ashe.
I like what you're talking about. Yeah, let's get a Carmen there. Okay.
There's your Aatrox.
Okay, let's go. Denethor has been unleashed. Birthday boy galore and maybe a birthday miracle. However, it's still danger because you know what's coming out behind. This has been the answers before. Abyss Watcher throwing down the gauntlet. I don't even want to see the junglers come up to the top side. I want to see us straight out 1v1 all the way through the game.
Oh, bro, if the rest of the series has been anything to go by, we will get that 1v1 because Abyss Watcher has been winning that out. If I'm Winthrop, I do want to see my jungler up there helping out Denethor because it feels like Denethor constantly has been counterpicked this series. He has had to blind his top lane a lot. And once again, Abyss Watcher getting that hard counter to this Aatrox. And Winthrop, I like what they've done with their draft. I like that they've adapted and picked some late game insurance. But let's not forget how the first 2 games of this series went. It was all about that early game. And once again, I do feel like Maryville have very strong lanes or good matchups to try and play through and to snowball from.
Well, MU not only doing a simple piece, but also wandering right past a ward. Keep in mind, they thought they swept it all out. Just keep that in mind. Zyko ran with that sweepers early on. They thought they got it blind, and I do believe that they were spotted. So a 5-man rotate. They might be in danger. Get back about to walk straight into the face. This is danger abound. That's going to be a Q. No real knockups just yet. That's going to be the final jump through as well. Cal jumps right into the middle of them. Remember, there was a recall. And now the hook comes out. Angle drawn right back into the fray, and I don't think you're going to get over the wall. First blood to Denethor.
There's the birthday present we've been looking for Denethor all night long. First blood into that solo lane as well. That's probably the best place, honestly, that you could put first blood, is into that isolated lane. And for Winthrop, what an unusual start we saw from them as well. Usually with a Blitzcrank on your team, you're grouped up, you're looking for a pick of your own. Instead, they played defensively, and it really paid dividends as Maryville walked in, got spotted the entire time, and the patience for Chuki to wait till people had kind of flashed away, moved away, and then threw out his hook to find the priority target on angle.
I didn't even realize Zyko had tried to burn Flash as well, so that's down for the next 4 minutes, which means that you're very danger. That's going to be a final Q. One more attack is going to take its sword on the Syndra. Said, give me a little bit of love. That is a solo kill in the mid lane.
And normally we wouldn't see that, Orbital, except that the Flash was already down. Hook onto angle in the bot lane.
Oh no, oh no. Things are going from bad to worse right now. A flash into the bush. One more attack is going to do it. Heal comes out. It looks like Zyko's going to get revenge. The double ADC works. And Zyko says thank you very much. What a bloodbath. Winthrop lose on this bot side. And now Zyko's going to go ahead and get the slowdown. Shukis has to run away. I mean, the auto attacks are going to take you low, but I don't think you're going to get the kill.
No, but it's enough to keep Chuki's low enough that when your AD carries actually get back into lane, they can't really look for that aggression. And barrier is still up on Zyko, so I think he'll be happy if he's the one who gets hooked and gets to tank that up. In the top lane, despite the first blood for Denethor, despite the early boots, Abyss Watcher is getting the early shove and is winning a lot of these early trades. And Amazo might try and capitalize on that with an invade into the enemy side.
I mean, you also take a look at the fact that that it was Denethor that had to TP back to lane, so Abyss Watcher's saying that I can go ahead and pressure in, which is great. Now, as you said, Amazo inside of the enemy jungle, not spotted by the likes of Wakao, so if you are able to spot it out, maybe you can get some aggression down, maybe you can find Wakao's dangerous points. However, Get Back has no flash, so has to play very, very safe and respectful as well. Topside, Denethor trying to chase in. Very nice riposte. Denies a lot of that damage. They're going to keep going. I'm not sure Abyss Watcher realizes they're in trouble, and now that's going to be the Ghost trying to bait it out, waiting for the teammate, and the Ghost is going to do so much work. Look at the roundabout that they're pulling off here, and now Amazo comes in with Red Buff. I think this is going to be the denial. That's going to be a lot of damage back, though. Amazo realizes they're not in a good spot, dashing away once again down and below. And they are safe, but Wakao is on the chase. Oh my lord. An answer from Amazo means their HP part is low. Shugi's, though, joining in the mid lane and realizing that Get Back is free, able to draw some more HP out.
Good discipline from Get Back there, not auto-attacking anybody, not wanting to draw the turret aggro. And no answer in the bot lane. Zyko and Angle not really able to punish Wakao. Looking for the revisit. Keep in mind, Watcher took Ghost, not Flash. So you can't really flash away, and you got to outplay with your skills.
This riposte is going to be very, very important. A dash number 1, Vital's not really in your favor, but oh, Denethor tagged. That's a problem. I think you have to run. You don't have flash either. Another Vital bar could be big. A knock-up is enough. Denethor is just dead. The turnaround is real as Abyss Watcher gets a kill of their own.
You know what? We called for jungle pressure, and respect to Wakao. He went to the top lane. He tried to get Denethor ahead. And it backfired horrifically. Amazo on this Belveth, who you saw got nerfed, didn't hit quite as hard as she used to, didn't tank quite as well as she used to, but getting the re-engage after Denethor already took the extra turret shot, yeah, that's all Amazo could possibly have wanted.
Oh, Get Back though. This is a whole different story. Sword gonna try and chase out. One more attack is gonna take it, and you do turn it around, but I mean, that's a trade. You're still going to be okay with that trade setup for MU. That's all you can really care about if you are Get Back. Let's talk about that top side a little bit more, because it's not just the kill. The fact that Denethor didn't have TP and Abyss Watcher now gets a free push on that lane, it's so crucial, right? It's not just a single kill. It's the fact that all momentum, all the wind in Denethor's sails is gone.
Well, and also the kill that's got into his shield.
Yeah, okay. That one too.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He gets this push, he gets that priority, and he gets the shove. But I think that Sheen is really what's going to hurt Denethor now, because that poke that you can get, kind of weird to talk about melee champion poking, but that's effectively what you're going to be doing when you step up, get those short trades, and dash away. And it enables a potential dive as well. Level 6 Grand Challenge is available. I don't know if you want to dive it like this, though.
No, you're just trying to get the plate and back out and be able to collect a little bit more gold. You can go back. You have a lot of refillables. Still, you have a lot of the sustain still built up. And Denethor has none of that, right? Went back, got boots and 2 long swords. You have 0 sustain except for your own innate abilities. So I think that's why Abyss Watcher was feeling pretty comfortable getting that first plate.
Okay, so Orbital, a lot of focus to the top lane, which is surprising when we look at what we saw in the bot lane, right? You've got a Caitlyn Ashe. That's supposed to be the really heavy poke lane, the winning lane. And then you've got the Varus Blitzcrank, which is the kill answer. If you ever get hit by a hook, you're supposed to die. We've actually not seen Chuki's in that bot lane too much. He's been bouncing back and forth between the mid and the bot lane, constantly applying pressure. And because of that, Maryville have not really been able to capitalize on that bot side, and Sword has been kind of unlocked a little bit in that mid lane to constantly get vision down, to get that priority, that safety when he wants to bully out this Orianna.
That's another part about it, right? Get back after losing some of those initial trades, going down 1-2, opted for those Merc Treads, which I believe he did, even on the Azir, saying, hey, I prioritize safety over everything else. I need to play smart. And it might work out here. However, you do have flash. You get away, and the shockwave is going to draw you back. But Chuki's realizing I have an opportunity. Got to dodge a hook. Where's it going to go? Good side step, and you're going to survive. Now it's Zyko and Angle to come in. Chuki's does have flash. You are able to get away. However, the damage is really up there. But now another Scath of the Week comes back into the Unleashed Power, but he'll keep him alive. Double knock up on the side of Amazo as they come in for a fight. And the Q Slaughter draws death. Down goes Chuki's as a scattered fight in the mid lane yields results for MU.
And that was 90% on get back in the mid lane, just dodging everything. QC Cucumber, no mana, no flash, but able to draw everyone in. Now, while all this was happening, it is worth noting that Mobility was just shoving this bot lane as hard as he can. So, not a complete loss for Winthrop. He at least gets the plate to try and balance out that kill a little bit, but he needs to get out alive.
I mean, he's got Ghost, he's got Flash. At the expense of your own life, yes, but Zyko is in a little bit of trouble. This is danger. I mean, that's going to be... What? Chuki's looking for Angle instead, and I mean, that's going to be a rough one. Now, a little bit of a stun in the top side, as that's going to be a good chunk out. Abyss Watcher with their Pulse are going to be very, very clean. Winthrop, though, hunting for those kills. Danger at every angle.
Okay, so that bot side... Oh, hold up. Abyss Watcher.
I wasn't sure they were going to go in, but Denethor shuts it down. Anger from the birthday boy.
I was not expecting that. I expected action. I did not expect Abyss Watcher to actually go down. And Denethor, well played from him, recognizing his damage numbers. I did want to talk a little bit about that bot lane hook that Chuki's threw out, because he was trying to be tricky. With the minion wave, it was very risky, and he wasn't confident he could get Zyko, pardon me, so he went for Angle instead. Didn't pan out. MU, they're just trying to delay this if they can. They can't really take it since Abyss Watcher died and didn't have TP.
Feels bad, man. Go ahead, give it over. Winthrop do have a handle on these global objectives. First Dragon is the Infernal. Not going to be taken by either squad. Not really set up for it either, as neither team really feels in control. Chuki's, though, ready. Good dodge by Get Back. Getting a little bit better read on this. And with that setup as well, is able to maintain health advantage. You take a look, full HP, about half mana, sure. But that's more than enough to stay here and try and farm up and maybe continue to climb on a CS lead.
Well, importantly for Get Back, he doesn't have Lost Chapter and no TP. So that mana bar is actually the most precious resource he has right now in trying to control the mid lane. Sword is getting much better roams because of his ability to shove out. Arrow comes out across onto... Wait, that hit Amazo?
Amazo's all the way on the top side. I don't know how it could hit Amazo. Right now, it's Sword that's actually taking a beating. Shockwave is going to land another little poke with the QW. Sword taking down to about 30% HP.
Okay, I don't know what... I'm very confused about what happened with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there. But it doesn't matter, because Maryville still are going to be able to start up this dragon. With the hook potential from Chuki's, it actually would be dangerous to start this up if Wakao was in the area. But it's not. And Zyko and Angle are locking Mobility and Chuki so that they can't stop that dragon take.
Not just that, you could see Mobility realizing that they're getting choked out, and throughout the chain of corruption did miss, but had to go for an attempt, right? Force them off the strike. Instead, both in the bot side lose a main prio ults. Their CC ults are down. Chuki's looking for a hook, but with what's going on, Abyss Watcher is actually going to eat most of it because Amazo took that bot side global objective. It leads us to kind of wonder what happens on this top lane. Amazo going to hang about. Looks like Wakao going to call it off.
Yeah, I think they were trying to bait Wakao a little bit because they did see him with the vision ward. And Amazo was just there to cover. If they dived, it would have backfired horribly. Denethor, good ward as well to make sure that he doesn't get ganked, since now he's the one who's extended up and pushing into this Fiora.
And with all this, what feels like limit testing, it's kind of crazy to think that we're only in a game 4, right? Like you can feel Winthrop going ahead and pushing forward and trying to find their own options, but MU, I almost feel a little bit of antsiness in their own play. They've been so calm and collected most of the game. They haven't felt like they had to pressure anything, but maybe with this Blitzcrank, maybe with this Vi on the other side, this Watcher playing very far up does have Ghost, and realizing that they're in trouble might have to go for that grand challenge, praying to get the Vital Procs off. Needs one more, but I don't think it's going to get it. Very nice slow, very nice burn out by the side of Denethor. And I think it's going to be death. Riposte does nothing but delay as Denethor gets a third.
I love that Wakao as well didn't even have to use his ultimate, just held it, knowing that even with the Ghost, you're not getting away there. And Winthrop, this top side, this is the first time we've seen Denethor with a lead this series in the laning phase. And for Maryville, that is a nightmare situation. You pick this Fiora to dominate. It was the counter matchup. It's kind of not working, and your bot lane hasn't really been planning out either. Now can they convert?
Oh, 100% they can convert. Look at that. Just a shattering arrow from the other side. Zygo's like, listen, we'll not let your top lane death be in vain.
They got to answer somewhere. Now, keep in mind, they did rotate get back down for that. So once again, Sword getting to stay in lane, getting to get a bit more CS, and unlike previous games, Orbital Sword is on a scaling champion this time. So sitting in that lane, getting that gold is the most beneficial play for Sword.
Of course, for what it is, we are seeing that benefit be there, but the Shockwave was more than willing, and now Amazo looking. It's just an easy pickup. Even though we're talking about scaling, the immobility of this champion does lead to some downfalls.
Yeah, and the death is not optimal. The getting the CS, good. The dying, not so much. And Amazo getting to be able to pick that one up as well. Amazo, I think, at level 9 now, has kind of passed that sort of breakpoint where Bel'Veth is weaker than she used to be, and now she's starting to become an issue. One thing we'll have to keep our eyes on as this game goes on will be Baron and Herald, because Bel'Veth with those Coral Voidlings will be able to push incredibly fast. Oh,
if they can, that's great, but Wakao still hiding inside this bush, realizes that they're getting angled on, and that's a problem. You try and go in and get the slaughter on this Psycho, but Psycho's just fine. Psycho's chilling.
Yeah, and not only do they find that pick onto Wakao, not only does Psycho straight chill and survive, Sword burnt a TP to try and make a play happen in that bot lane. So a lot got expended for Winthrop.
Oh,
Sword gets hunted by Amazo.
Oh, and that's another knockup. I mean, you have no flash. A couple more autos should do it, and now a final Q. Not going to get the kill, but it's enough. And take a look at that, right? Sword was ahead in the early game in the mid lane. Now it's Get Back's chance to do that.
Yeah, and it's Amazo who's doing this. This is not a 2v1 where they're shutting Sword down. This is 1v1 from Amazo, and I'm a little bit worried that things don't get terribly much better for Sword. Bel'Veth do tend to build a little bit tankier after first item as well, so very, very difficult to burst down there.
We're going to keep watching, though, as the CS for Amazo has also gotten out of control. Abyss Watcher on the top side, though. Little bit angry that for the first time, I think they're on their back foot. 3-1 on the side of Denethor. Zyko, though, realizing that the red buff is currently being taken. Can't really do too much, but that's going to be the cone. Look at that pop up, the plant, the pain, the danger is real. As they run for their life, and they're actually safe. It looks like they tried to flash away, but the arrow's going to come out. Wakao gets away from the shockwave as well. Denethor keeping the top laner alive, but the chase is on. The chase is hard on, and they find it. Abyss with that ghost cuts them down.
He tried so hard, Orbital. He got so far. And in the end, Abyss Watcher picks up the game, which is a problem, because that's the Fiora, who is potentially your biggest late game threat, TP behind angle.
Uh-oh, and Angle knows it, but you really can't go anywhere. Flash under the tower, and I think this is going to be a dive, right? Huge knock up on the back end, but no one else to follow up. So Angle's allowed to live.
And that TP from Denethor, topside's not being covered, so that TP means Abyss Watcher gets turret as well. First brick this game should go the way of MU. Get back. Playing a little bit with fire here. Denethor over the wall.
And there's another flash, right? Look how much time they're spending. Yes, you're burning flashes, right? Like, that's a good thing. However, you lose so much. Oh, my Lord, MU. They're able to bring back a bit of collateral. They get first tower, and they say, hey, we're going to punish that singular mistake. What did we say at the beginning? MU are a team that know how to punish these small mistakes.
And they keep on pushing into the mid lane outer turret. Now will be forced off as Sword is there to wave clear. Now, Winthrop, the play they made on Get Back was partially to try and buy time for mobility, go for that turret, and try and race for the first brick. Didn't quite pan out. But they still get turret, and they get Dragon Orbital. So it's not all going MU's way. Winthrop is still fighting back right now at this point in the game, and they're fine to do so. If they can stay fairly close within, say, about 2k gold, they are within fighting distance.
Well, honestly, it does scare me a little bit that this is a Cloud Soul. Like, both these teams rely so much on fast movement and getting in position just at the right time. Like, I would feel as a Soul will come out, I wouldn't be upset to actually see them focus around here. Right now, though, we are seeing a focus on this bot side. Abyss Watcher, though, realizing Winthrop is focusing on the top side, and they're going to look to finish off this tower. I mean, they are going to get it, but Abyss is saying, hey, you might pay with your life. That's going to be a nice little bit of an assault and battery. Good repulse, keeps them alive, and now they chase away. However, the dive on the bot side is going way different, so it's a fight between both teams. Both teams let their prey go away, but in comes Mobility, saying thank you very much.
Bot side, they're just hammering away at this inner turret. Are we going to see a bit of a base race between these side lanes? Looks like not, as Macau peels off from that top side. And in the bot lane, Maryville don't get any of the kills, but they do get the turret, they do get the shove. And Orbital, if you're talking about Dragon being an important component of this game, Maryville securing that gives them a lot more control over this bot side of the map in that 3-minute mark when Cloud Dragon spawns.
With that being said, now you get the freedom of having the likes of Denethor out and about, right? We talked about the problematic issue of losing out on that top side. Well, you can only lose one outer tower, really. The top side outer tower, I should say. You saw the inner tower, of course, but only eyes are different. Denethor, though, stepped up a little bit too far, and you pay the price. Ooh. What is going on here? They looked for the angle. They thought they could get a flank around on a single defender, but they don't. And they just lose one of their high priority members.
Yeah, and even though they get the turret, the problem is look how low that mid-outer turret is. Angle stopping the base from Macau here as they push in. They're going to try and shove this. You know what? They're not committing hard enough to that. Amazo behind enemy lines. Still hunting.
Oh, no.
Okay. No,
I thought that was going to be another fight. I was so scared, bro.
Yeah, I don't think they could have. Unfortunately, Angle kind of peeled off, and they didn't really want to hard commit to this mid lane outer turret. So despite the fact the mid lane play goes wrong for Winthrop, I still think they walk out with the better trade. Turret over a kill any day, Orbital.
Oh, yes, they would. But right now, that's still, you know, as much as you get the towers, it still scares me, right? You don't want to be caught in those scenarios. We said it over and over again. Maryville are a team that thrive on mistakes. Did Denethor need to be there? No. Should you be there ever again? Probably not. You know, you are going for a little bit more of that burst build, so you can dive very, very quickly. So really just keeping eyes on how that works and how many times you do get stuck will be a problem. However, a hook goes out. And goes Shuki, who again has been looking good, but that's an arrow from downtown into a shockwave. It looks like you're going to get that kill. Double TP coming in, but it's a little bit too little too late. Winthrop, they lose both TPs and lose the support as well.
The early pick, and now without that map pressure Orbital, we are 30 seconds out from Baron, and TPs become really, really important when Baron's on the table. Thankfully, MU don't have the best early Baron taking team, so Winthrop should be fine with that. And Dragon hadn't spawned yet. So really, it's just a quick pick from MU. And then they kind of just reset, and they're looking to do the same thing again. All their outs, all their cooldowns will be back up.
And you saw it there for a split second. Sword, even though you're hitting that 1.5 item point, you're looking for that 2.5 to really burst open. You only have 74 shards, so you still need about 26 to really be effective, have that extra AP, have that execution factor. Right now, you're still trying to power farm. That's why we see Sword in that top side. Go ahead, try and pressure out. Get back still somewhat weak, building towards that Zanya's right away. There are multiple factors that are going into this mid game. As you said, Baron is up, Dragon coming up in 40 seconds. Ward on the top side though, so Winthrop, if they walk down towards his bot lane, maybe walking into a little bit of darkness.
Orbital, for Winthrop, not everything is that dire. I mean, they've managed to keep the gold difference to about that 3K, 3.5K mark for the last while. So they've managed to stabilize the game state. But as you rightly mentioned, it is still not a great position for them. And Dragon is all good and well, but if they commit too hard to that and that vision, which they just get cleared out, if it reveals that, Maryville could look to turn and burn on Baron. We're pushing up really deep right now.
Yeah, I think they were trying to challenge Getback, who was pushing on this bot side, and yeah, that's going to be the fourth. Winthrop realized they might have caught Zyko, but Zyko gets out of that pull, and because of that, you actually burn that ult. Are you kidding me? And the knock behind on the Q. That's a huge dub for MU. Zyko lives, and you get a tower on bot lane.
I thought Zyko was dead to rights. The moment that blast cone went off, he should have been picked, but somehow is able to disengage, and it's a top side where Getback was just pummeling away on that inner turret. Actually TPs back to safety there because realized the collapse was coming in. And Denethor wasn't able to find the pick. That's critical. That's crucial. Dragon's up and Maryville get the time, get the ability to reset.
And that gold lead, right? 4.5 or so, actually sitting on 5 exact. It's a problem. Right? That extra tower might have been the needed factor to go ahead and complete some of these items, right? 2 items inside of Abyss Watcher, 2 items in the pocket of Amazo. Get back also completing 2.5. These item breakpoints are so important. Winthrop probably realized that. You can see it. Everyone forcing their way up into the top side. Vision completely for MU around their side. And in comes Abyss Watcher as well. Arrow goes out, is going to miss. And it looks like it's just a little bit of a bait. You talked about the fact that MU don't really have a good Baron taking group. What they do have is a good fight composition. However, because of that fight difference, it's a Dragon to go to Winthrop, and they're going to be happy about that collective. Now they're 2 Dragons versus 1.
That was an interesting choice from Maryville. They went for the high risk, high reward play by going for Baron, trusting that Winthrop would go for the Dragon instead. But you can see, as I mentioned before, they don't have the best early Baron taking team. So they're a little bit scared, and the moment Shuki showed up, that stalled out the Baron. So Winthrop are able to pick up Dragon for free and continue to extend this game. Now, if they were still maintaining the 3K gold lead, good for them. But the gold lead has grown to 4.5, almost 5,000 gold. So if Maryville can keep up this pace, it's not terrible for them to lose to Dragon, but it certainly wasn't ideal.
It feels like a missed opportunity, almost, if you will, right? Just that, oh man, maybe we could have done better. Abyss Watcher 190 on the CS score, does have those 2 items. Still waiting to complete boots, by the way, which I find very entertaining. I love the fact whenever you see champions that are like, yeah, we can keep fighting, we're fine. However, in this mid lane, it is Chuki's. This is going to happen pretty much on a consistent basis if offered the opportunity. So Chuki's goes down 0-3-1.
Yeah, why do you need boots, Orbital, when you can just dash in with 4 different dashes? You know, when a Blitzcrank would just hook you in, like, yeah, boots, that's just cheap stats. And right now, Amazo doesn't really need that bot lane. We're seeing the 2 top laners kind of going at it, and Denethor significantly with the lead this time. That is good for Winthrop. The problem, though, is Abyss Watcher is not fighting fair, and he's brought back up.
Yes, he has. Another bootless champion, by the way. Amazo's still sitting on tier 1. So, you know, when you talk about dashes, this is Dash City. Amazo is unstoppable. We talked about Amazo as well, getting a little bit more impact in this series, in this game. This Belveth seems to have done the trick.
And this Vi hasn't over this entire series. I'm actually a little bit disappointed. Amazo and the Vi didn't get any early ganks down. The level 6 Vi ultimates weren't particularly impactful. And unfortunately for Wakao this game, it's been the same issue. We've not seen that early aggression that, to me at least, is the trademark for Trickster. Amazo is in a 1v1, soon to become a 1v3, but just strolls on out there completely unconcerned.
Oh, that's actually a problem. Take a look. This tower is still not down. So Winthrop are hoping to get a chance here. That's going to be the ult coming out of Chuki's to try and slow it down, but it's not. And it is a give. What Cal has to give their life to get the rest of the teammates out. But with that jungler down, that leaves open Baron, and Winthrop know it.
Okay, I'm so scared for Sword right now. If Angle had dropped the Scryers, that ace in the hole just came back up. But it's not even needed because Maryville, they finally get what they've been looking at this entire time. Baron is on the table. Smite is off for Winthrop, and Maryville get what they need to break this game open.
I love the fact that we watched Abyss Watcher just faceplant into the wall, try to get a dash over, and said, all right, I'm not going to help. You guys go ahead and take it. It is Baron on 5 here, and things just went from bad to worse for Winthrop. You realize things are dire. Right now, Abyss Watcher feels like they can take over just about anything. Yes, they are getting challenged by Denethor. It is a little bit sticky situation. But the Fiora is strong. And you also can't leave Get Back alone. Get Back, just on a random win, decided to push on their own and was in pretty good control. And not just that, in the mid lane, you can see those Voidlings being a problem. Amazo, whichever lane they're in, will push forever. However, at this point, no one's really there to help out. So Wakala's just like, all right, going ahead, picking them up. I think they're only like 3 gold apiece, which feels kind of bad. But look at that. They're just tipping away. It's impossible to stop all of them.
And with the Baron buff, it's just so painful. They're going to take this entire... Amazo didn't even lay a tentacle on this turret.
Well, Cal's like, this champion's busted. Can we please nerf? I don't want to play against a Bel'Veth ever again.
No, man, Trickster's played this Bel'Veth before. He knows what he's getting into. And that's one of the big reasons why Baron becomes such a big sticking point when Bel'Veth is in the game. The team with Bel'Veth gets it. Their push is so much more effective. Zyko, get hooked.
Oh, that's a good one. It's... Chukis, yes, you got it. However, what more can you do with it? It's just a support. Are we going to fight any further, right? It's a 2-1 split. 2-1-1, I should say. And little fragments on each. I believe each tower has taken about a third of HP damage, so it will stick for the remainder of the game. Top side, though, Denethor is saying, listen, maybe strong, but not as strong as me. World Ender is done, but Abyss Watcher is not. TP in the back line. Wakao wondering how they're going to get this fight, and it is going to be the catch of Mazo taking quite low, but goes into the stopwatch, a double knockup, trying to get back to the rest of the team, and is out. And the rest of the team is not sure what they want to do. Winthrop realizing they may have overstepped just a bit too far. TP coming in as Get Back is ready to help out. Danger abound as MU survive once again. Amazo with an amazing display.
Amazo was just beating Orbital, not even close.
Oh, no! Oh, everyone has to dogpile. Winthrop had to say sword, and they do. The denial of the follow-through, and Denethor gets that kill. Remember, Denethor is actually quite scary, and a hook lands once again. If there is a moment to get a fragment to kill, it's there. However, for the price of 2, they lose 2 inhibitor towers. Winthrop, I'm not sure if they really had a choice, but dang, does that sting.
No, they didn't, Orbital. You're completely right. Winthrop did the best they could, which was they found the picks and they absolutely punished it. If not for the Baron buff, if not for the fact that Amazo was already so far ahead, it wouldn't have hurt that badly. But trade offer, you get 2 kills, we get 2 turrets, and Dragon. Maryville are more than happy with that trade.
I didn't even realize that the inhibitor fell as well. So it wasn't just 2 towers, right? It was the inhibitor. It's now broken open, and this push will be a problem. MU, yes, they are happy right now, but this now leaves Abyss Watcher with only 1 lane that they really have to focus for, right? They only really need to look at that bot lane. They can push all day, look for a quick inhibitor take, and back away with the rest of the team. MU, with an unkilled Bel'Veth, Amazo, unkillable so far. First in game 1, now in game number 4 so far. I mean, things are just falling into place for them, one by one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that lane, which hasn't quite fallen into place. Because you said Abyss Watcher just has to focus 1 lane. Well, Abyss Watcher has only had to focus on 1 lane this entire game. It just hasn't panned out for him this game. And this game is the only game in this series where Abyss Watcher did not beat Denethor in lane. So normally Maryville would be more than happy to leave Abyss Watcher split pushing for days. Right now, we saw Denethor just win that last trade between the 2 of them. Now, Hullbreaker is complete for Abyss Watcher. I just don't know if that's enough. And so Winthrop still have a chance to hold on to just clear waves and push out. The bigger issue for me comes in 2 minutes when Baron's back up. Because what happens when you have to leave your base, when you have to walk into the darkness, and Amazo could be in any bush, anywhere.
That's why Denethor and Wakao are like, we aren't going to worry about that. That is also 2 minutes away, but Denethor is like, I got a buddy, you don't know. Biz Watcher is like, absolutely, I know. You're not going to walk around alone. Amazo, now at GA as well, the fact that even a face check going wrong isn't going to be a problem. Like, Amazo's just chilling, right? Amazo's in such a great spot. 4 items. Doesn't need boots, by the way. Still sitting on tier 1. The magical boots are just enough moves. Like, that is That feels so bad anytime you see that. Like the fact that you are so far ahead that you don't even care about those boots.
He didn't even buy those. Those were gifted.
I know.
He's just holding
It
them for
feels so
sentimental
good,
value.
man. Oh, man. And I mean, you're showing it here, right? The 4-item power spike, Denethor realizing they're in trouble. However, if you can cut down this GA, it might be big. Abyss Watcher trying to roam up to try and help out. It is the GA pop now. TP coming in here as Winthrop feels blood in the water. Maryville
Okay.
just trying to get back
He's
out.
down?
And they do get the kill. That'll be the grand challenge to work. Now over the wall. It's get back to draw them in. Zyko running forward. The support Ash trying to keep them all in range. But the damage is done. 2 for 1 is a call. MU lose their perfect record on Mazo, but take 2 away instead.
And Winthrop kiting back beautifully there. It could have gone a lot worse. As it stands, they don't even lose that topside turret. They were able to fall back in time to protect the Nexus turret. And Maryville, again, stifled a little bit. This inability for Abyss Watcher to split push has slowed things down. 20 seconds orbital till Baron comes up, and that's the big team fight we need to watch for.
And at that point, I mean, I'm really looking at Denethor to be able to get in. You have that TP. If you can get a good ward down on the side of Winthrop, you can get a great flank option. You burn TPs and flashes, or flashes and ghosts out of the side of MU. So if you are able to route someone, it's huge, right? It is a massive, massive power point. So Winthrop, they smell a possible victory moment. They smell an option to turn the tides, but MU, they have to be more than aware of this. Chukies as well, 1, 4, and 3 has not really been a mainstay player this time around, but the hooks that have landed have been very, very impactful. So maybe we get to see it here. Once again, Denethor with that shield up, saying, hey, if you want to try and poke me out, you better break the shield first.
No turret or Denethor right there, and so that bot side match will be very, very interesting. And watch the wards as well coming out. You'll notice Winthrop has nothing behind Maryville. They can't look for that TP flag. Oh, Abyss Watcher is winning this one. Okay.
Yeah, that was a huge chunk. Yeah, that was a huge chunk, I think, that came out, and Denethor was kind of forced into this world ender moment. However, the turnaround is here. And remember, you don't actually have to win. Abyss Watcher was just like, I'll get the ult, that's enough. It's not up for this Baron. And Chuki says, crap, now we have to go. Can I get a priority hook? If I grab a Mazo, it might be a problem. If I grab anyone else, it might be a chance. Good stun over the wall. Catches Angle off on the side. And they actually win it out. Winthrop are able to deny this Baron push.
Yeah, that's massive. And bot side as well. We even saw the tail end of that. There's no heal cut on Abyss Watcher orbital, so the healing from Denethor is enough to keep him in it.
Oh, well,
okay.
Whoa.
I don't
You
know
know,
this ball man anymore.
If you're trying to beat out the healing, just don't let him heal. What a ridiculous burst of damage from the Vitals.
Yeah, between the Divine Thunder and the Vitals, that was unexpected. And Denethor's been dealing with that all game this game and has been actually winning out for the most part in the 1v1. Once again, Maryville back to that Baron, but this time Chuki showed bot. So Chuki's just got here and it's too late. Maryville are not afraid if the hook is not available.
Well, that's actually a flash out. Oh, get back with the get back step, saving their life right there. Baron on 5, and Dragon is coming up. Everything for MU feels good. Abyss Watcher back in an even state. Things are looking better and better in Winthrop. There was a moment where you felt in control, but that Baron dance did not go their favor, and now they have to defend.
The last time Maryville had Baron orbital, they broke the base down. The base is in the shambles it is from that last Baron, and now Mazo is back onto it. If you want to split push, I feel like it's a Mazo with those Voidlings split pushing that will get you the maximum returns. 1-3-1 looks to be the setup right now. Abyss Watcher into top lane, a Mazo towards the bot, and everybody else pushing mid.
They really want to wait. They could just wait it out. I think the GA is coming up in about 30 seconds. Hey, if you really want to wait, Amazo could just be like, yeah, I'm going to chill. I'm going to have some fun. But it is that push. Take a look. The charge of the Voidlings down the spot lane. Every wave crashing at just the right time. Sword coming in to try and deny. Look at this mid lane. It is so low. A couple more shots. One more should do it. And it is done. The last inhibitor tower is down. And because of that, it's free reign. Where do Winthrop go? It is going to be the duel on the top side. They get a 1v2. But now they have to defend even more. Another inhibitor goes down. And I think that's all they really want. With the loss of Abyss Watcher, MU say we got what we came for. Abyss Watcher is just that payment.
Winthrop, Chuki's looking for the hook. If you can find it, it might be key, but not close enough to the backup.
No. Oh, I thought they were pushing, but take a look at that. TP in the back line. This is going to be sword once again. Angle caught
Fine
out
angle.
and snuffed. That's a huge chunk out. You get the ADC, and now you can chase them down.
lane.
But look at the base. Remember, how long can they actually go? Zyko stalling out for time. Get back.
Oh.
Trying to wait it out and waited for their teammate, but it's not going to work. Another shockwave will land and it'll keep him out, but oh no. The DC at that time, I think that feels so bad. A little bit of lag.
That's huge. Mobility picking up 3 kills there was
So good.
really not in the game before this, and Winthrop managed to hold on. It's massive. They also avoid the worst case scenario where they lose all their inhibitors, so having it desynced is going to be big for Winthrop in terms of being able to defend and wait out for the next 3.5 minutes orbital when that Baron comes up, because Dragons have kind of slid by the wayside. Dragons are not the priority. They've still got time, and a Cloud Drake, a Cloud Soul really isn't that big a deal for Winthrop when you're stuck in your base anyways.
Nope. You know where they're coming from. They're coming from the other side of the wall. That's it. There is no other area that you can come from. And it's crazy to think that we are here. By the way, the previous matches all ended at about 27 to 28 minutes. Every single other game ended in pretty dominant fashion. It was just their way of playing. And this time around, we're reaching that 36 limit mark. These teams are starting to wane, and we're going to see the death timers climb into astronomical numbers, looking at 40 to 50 seconds. It's a problem. It's scary. And it's so tantalizing to try and make that break moment. Winthrop, they feel like there are only a few more chances afforded to them, and they have to recognize when an opportunity arises.
Or vice versa, Orbital. If Maryville mess up with these long death timers that you're talking about, there is a chance for Winthrop to still pull the return upset. Denethor.
Oh, that's a double knockup as well. Denethor taking quite low. That's going to be an arrow from the back line. And it's going to be a Mazo to get stuffed out. Take a look how quickly they go. The GA will keep him alive, but that's going to be a side. Get back on the other side of the wall. Ready to roam around. Shockwave is going to be flashed away from, but it's still Abyss Watcher to chase him out. Wakao running for their life. Mobility was able to stay alive. Abyss Watcher getting a great riposte off. But look at the Q. That will be Angle living on 200 to take those kills. Sword and Wakao realize that they have been routed. There's not a single moment to lose as MU chase down the end of this game.
Wakao is the only one in base. Actually managed to base on this, but it doesn't have TP coming in from Abyss Watcher.
Oh, they're going to try and end it here, and I think they can do it. There has to be a play. There has to be a moment, and the Zanya's to bait it out. Wakao can't do anything. The B to buzz away. It is an ace and dub for Maryville as they will finish off the series over Winthrop.
The Kings of Collegiate, they won the Naystar League Orbital, and now they are here in NECC winning the Fall Division, the Fall Legends Division as well, Orbital, and they do it in such great style. Even that last fight devolved into individual mechanics, and you could see everybody on their own. Nobody protecting Angle, nobody protecting Zyko. They just kited out on their own, even get back behind enemy lines, man, and still pumping out the damage. Just beautiful to watch from Maryville.
And honestly, from Winthrop, they fought so hard at the end. Let's be honest here. Everything was closing in on them. The walls were surrounding them, and yet they fought Denethor. One game given the opportunity, and went with it. You beat your demons, by the way, birthday boy.
Yep.
You were able to take the victor in the 1v1. Honestly, if given the opportunity, we could have seen Denethor wipe a lot more, but it was just MU to carry on and covering for Spyrex in that game.
Well, thankfully, Orbital, this is just the fall split. And for C-Law, selections usually happen in the spring. So Winthrop, they might have lost here today, but that just means that they know what they need to work on to come back stronger. And Winthrop has just been getting better and better. Maryville, on the other hand, go from strength to strength. The start of the season, perhaps not the most ideal. They didn't win here. They didn't win 66 games, but they've won here in NECC. So Orbital, do we have an interview with Maryville? Do you know?
Yeah, I think we do have an interview. We're going to get a little bit of a word from the side of Maryville, and so we'll go ahead, go grab a little snack. We'll be right back when we get the interview set, and then we'll get things moving along. NECC, League of Legends will continue in just a bit.
Holding on to this. Holding on. Don't let me repeat it. too. Friends have changed, but so can you. So can you. For too long about the mistakes, while I resent, I learned to hate. Forgot your names. Fear the struggle to follow on. Need to focus to prove you're wrong. I'm not wrong. I know I'm holding on to this. Holding on. I know I'm holding on to this. Holding on. Don't let me repeat it. Don't let me repeat it. I know I'm holding on to this. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on.
Cigarette ash, it looks like snow when it falls in the wind, you know. And you say you wanna dance. You're worried, you know, you'll end up in the wrong hands. And you're having fun. Why don't you show your friends? And you're having fun. What if it never ends? I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all. Miss booze, lit cigarettes, trying to take me home. Falling in love just a million times, breaking it off, put the feeling on ice still. She's as cold as December. I swear I've seen you before, holding your shoes in your hands, running out that door. And you are nothing, but you say you wanna dance. And you're worried, you know, you'll end up in the wrong hands. I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all. Miss booze, lit
Welcome back, everyone. We are here and ready to go with an interview with a fantastic member of the Maryville crew. It is the ADC player that came in and rocked our world, maybe for only a little bit because it was an awesome time. It is Scary Jerry to join us. Scary Jerry, how you feeling? Not looking too scary because, I mean, you seem pretty happy. You guys won the finals in a 3-1 series. How you feeling about that?
Feeling really good about the series being 3-1. I wouldn't say I performed to my standards, but, you know, a win's a win, right?
Fair enough. And Scary Jerry, I've got to ask a tough question right now. How does it feel to be the second best AD carry in your team?
At least I'm second best somewhere, right? So.
Oh.
I'm first in every other category.
True, yeah. You need to give Zyko some space once in a while. I see how it is. Now, your second championship, actually, this week, you just won NECC. Now you've won NECC. How does it feel?
Well, it feels good to break the loss streak. We've had a pretty rough semester. This has especially been like a pretty rough semester for me. Just because we're losing a bit, So it feels good to get some wins, especially going into the winter break. Like, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna have a clear head. We're gonna be able to enjoy the holidays. I can't say the same for Winthrop, although I hope they do. But we're going in there happy.
That sounds like there's a little bit of beef between Yo and Winthrop going here. I mean, I know Maryville Winthrop, that is sort of El Clasico within collegiate, but is there something more to that? Maybe something with Hugh and them knocking you out there? Or?
Well, for some reason, AD carries they just love to beef. Me and the AD carries, we're always beefing. I would say that, to use my mid laner's words, everyone's a bit neurodivergent in this scene. So, sometimes people take things a little too personally or they don't understand, banter. So, there's a little bit of talk going back and forth between me and Mobility, but at the end of the day, we're both competing. So, he's a great guy. I'm glad he had some success. So.
Of course, and I mean, you guys carried it all the way through, so hoping to look forward. You talked about winter break. Are you guys excited for the spring as well? Are you guys excited to continue on forward? And, I mean, are we going to see some more of you?
Yeah, I'm really excited for NACL. Sorry, they're just laughing over there. But I'm really excited for NACL because I know that over the summer it helped me level up. Even though this is a rough semester for me, NACL really does help me improve a lot. So I'm just really excited for NACL. And, of course, there's the IMT tournament, which it'll help us know how our skill level is compared to these other teams.
Of course, I think you guys got a very packed schedule. So, Scary Jerry, any final words, final thoughts, any more trash talk that you like to throw around just cause?
It's not trash talk, okay? It's all love. I just hope everyone has a really happy holiday. Merry Christmas, everyone, I guess.
All right. Well, Scary Jerry, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on your victory. The 2 crowns resting on your head.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I think we are done here for the evening and also for the NECC League of Legends Fall Split. It has been a chaotic season to say the least, but we just crowned the winner tonight, and you hear it here first. There is more on the line in the future. But, of course, there's more finals to be played throughout the rest of the week on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, of course, will be Overwatch 2, and Friday will be Rocket League, so make sure to tune into both of those. My name is Orbital. With me has been Random Mini Caster. Got to send him back to the Rift. Very sorry, everyone. We had Shiro on the production and Peter Ward on our observation. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great night.